Hello, hello, hello. We are back with our coverage of Game 2. As of right now, I'm not sure I have the ability to see what's going on in the game. Cora, do you?
I just pulled up the stream, pulling it up. It looks like David Ace is still streaking. Yeah, remove the talisman off of Riven. I don't know where it went because I just saw it as. So now we have the talisman on the Galio. Kind of move the items around a little bit to get the Kraken off of the Corki, so that we now have this Corki, and so it's like, oh, the Riven can kind of hold it. I kind of wanted to see the big Riven though.
Yeah, I feel a little bit cheated out of seeing Big Riven. Um, I do think that this is going to be quite an interesting setup with the Mighty Mech. You can see that the Mighty Mech is in a sort of like secondary tank position. Oh, whoa. Okay, we're on the other side now.
I feel like this Zaya board is gonna be really hard to get through this though, because like this after it was Aegis of Dusk, or no, this is Aegis of Dawn. It's like this Ramus has so much armor. Like we can just see the Zaya hitting it, and it's just like not falling. But we do see the Mighty Mech does go down on the side as it keeps taking the secondary damage. Riven barely alive at 1 HP, and it's like I wonder if it's like maybe it could have been a big Riven, maybe it could have stalled out, but uh, very good positioning from Coco to be able to shift it all there and to not get the Riven to wrap around onto that backline.
Yeah, these Stargazer positions, I feel like some of the value is in being able to know how do you swap sides without harming your own positioning. And I think this was a really lovely swap from the Coco. I think that part of the problem for David Ace is that we were like really committed to being able to play on this one side with the Cosmic Hex. And with that swap happening, uh, it became much more challenging. So now we'll see what happens when Rammus is all the way on this far side. Um, it really could have the potential to stall out the fight where Zaya and Jin are splitting their DPS right now.
Yeah, because we see Jin hitting the left up there, slowly taking out the Mighty Mech, while Zaya is stuck on this Ramus forever. But the feathers are bouncing around, still doing damage to secondary targets. The Riven's taking some chip damage throughout. And that's going to be enough to take down David Ace, who was on that streak. So very good positioning from Coco to be able to pull that out after losing a few fights to it.
Yeah, I feel like Coco is one of the most prominent names I see out of the European circuit, the EMEA circuit, and I'm glad, that they have an opportunity to show off against North American opponents or America's opponents. Um, I would, however, say that it's not the best result. It's not the one that I would have cheered for.
Yeah, it's interesting to see now that we get a mix of, like, in these tourneys, we get a mix of a few of the EU players playing against the Americas that we used to not see up until, like, actual World. So it's really cool to see that. But we're gonna go to a break here before our next game, and we'll come back with our third lobbies.
There, Cora.
Welcome back. Jump into our third game of the day. Think,
I'm very excited for this lobby. I think we have a lobby that's full of like star power.
yeah, well, not to spoil yet who we're looking at, but first we'll take a quick look here at the standings as we see our points have all come in. I think this isn't full points yet for all of the games, but regardless, uh, well, we can jump to lobbies if not, because it's kind of hard to tell there with half of them. But there we go, full games. So we see Darth Nub taking the lead, and we see some of like our expectations. We have Weijin and Robin towards the top, who we will be looking at in our next lobby.
Okay, well, I
So we can
feel
look
like
at poker and see.
Darth Nub's position at the top of the leaderboard is not necessarily a surprise. He's been working super hard since his World Championship victory, but nonetheless, it's really great to see him get out to an early start here.
Yeah, and like I said, we have Weijin and Robin following up there as we jump into the lobby, and we'll see them here. See if they can continue and take down some of those points to follow up on Darth Nub.
Yeah, we have a few familiar faces with us in this lobby. This lobby leans also a little bit more towards the Americas. Um, that's part of why I think this is a really exciting lobby. I'm familiar with a lot of the faces, but Og is also known to be one of the strongest European players, and I also want to point out Reddy. Reddy had a really great Set 16 debut on the Tier 2 circuit, as well as at regionals, at Worlds, and at the Paris Open. Um, I've seen him typing in chat this weekend already, saying like, "I mispositioned because I have low APM and I'm a chud." But I think Reddy is really a player to watch.
Yeah, agreed. I feel like they're one of the ones that are more recent to the scene, but like you said, Set 16, they popped off, did really well throughout, making their names for themselves, moving up in the tiers.
Yeah, and you can see as we start off this game, we're holding Lissandra and we're holding Cho'Gath.
Like I said, you gotta hold the opener because it's the only reroll one that there is at the moment, so you gotta hold it just in case you're the chosen one.
Yep. And I suppose the upside is also that the Dark Star opener is not necessarily one of it's like a relatively high power opener as well.
Yeah, I think Lissandra is one of like the best just in general. Just a 2-star Lissandra is one of the best units you can get to just like tempo early regardless. So whether you want to reroll it or not, like it's still the unit you want to hold. Like if you're playing any like AP line, she's like the best holder early.
Yes, it really helps that no matter what, if you are playing an AP line, later on in the game, you're going to try to get through Mordekaiser, like a Mordekaiser board, into a board that has Karma and Mordekaiser on it. So the Lissandra is really a great starting point for that, like you said.
It also just synergizes really well with the other two econ traits because you can play with Cho'Gath, and then you can play those two units with either like a 3 Primordian or a 3 Timebreaker because they both have a brawler there, so you kind of get like some innate synergy there. Especially on the Timebreaker side, you get the Replicator from the Pantheon as well, so it just like works really well with the two econ openers, and it's one of the strongest like item holder units to begin with, so it's like if you're not clicking Lissandra, you should start clicking Lissandra to start.
Yes. We do get to see all of our augments come in. Some of the interesting ones I think for this stage are, well, CMV has selected a hero augment, to my knowledge. That I believe is the Jax hero augment.
Yes.
And the Jax hero augment, while I don't quite remember the exact name of it, is a very intimidating one to go up against. I would also love to see Wage in this stage. Oh yeah, reach for the stars.
I'm really curious what our Stargazer is because I feel like that Hero Jax one is only playable in certain ones. The Boar, I think Boar is definitely playable for it. It'll help you, like the Jax benefits from all those stats really well, make him a little bit tankier, getting the AD and AP. But as we look for Weijin with solo leveling 2-star Mordekaiser,
Whoa.
that is insane. I feel like that has to win out the stage, right? I feel like you always kind of question the solo leveling. It's like, okay, who can actually 5-streak so that you get the full benefit, you get all the XP and everything. I've not seen a Mordekaiser do it, but a 2-star Mordekaiser sounds pretty good to me. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, it's so hard to judge the power level of this augment when you aren't necessarily familiar with what's going on. Um, I was gonna say CMB is a player who I feel like I'd be more scared of later in the stage when you have like more coherent set of items to put on the Jax. But right now, if you just have the Edge of Night, like it's not gonna stack enough damage to take down the Mordekaiser as far as I would predict. I hope I'm not cursing anyone.
Yeah, it is one that like concerns me based off like how quickly the Mordekaiser can get it. This Jax is stacking up a lot though because
I've done it.
the classic caster curse. You can't help it. That's how you know when you're a true caster, when you're able to curse people.
Yeah, shit, I guess. Um, I do think now that CMB is someone to watch out for with that win streak, it really does end up becoming something very, very crazy when you can get the boar rolling into a stage 3-2 roll down, and then you are still rolling. Um,
Yep.
that said, some of the other positions I'm interested in, like where is Reddy going to go with his Bastion emblem, as well as with Legion of Threes, and does Volterix? I believe Volterix is one of the players, or a player who selected branching, or what is it, spreading roots. Um, and if we took spreading roots, like, are those two emblems going to be imposing for the rest of the lobby later on?
Yeah, agreed. I feel like spreading roots is definitely. I feel like you see pretty much every pro player just pick them because like it gives so much potential of like being able to cap out a board very high, and like it even if it's a typically contested line, it kind of automatically forces people off of like a line because they see that you have the emblem. Oh, and we have Acel here, so we could have even more emblems for these emblem players. Which I feel like when you have spreading roots or Legion of Threes, like you're just pretty much always just clicking Acel.
It's really valuable for Ready, right? It's just another unit that ends up getting the base stats
Mm-hmm.
of the augment, as well as giving you the potential to hit a nasty combination of emblems.
Also, having the emblem, it makes it so much easier to proc that 6 traits earlier because you have one extra synergy to be able to like play without having to like play 6 units that'll give you perfect synergies to be able to hit them all. Like you can hit it like 1 level sooner a lot of the times by just already having an emblem.
Yeah, I will
And then
say. Oh, go on.
and then by doing that you get like even earlier like knowledge of what your emblem is. You're gonna get that so you can start planning your board out even sooner of what you're gonna try and do with it.
Yeah, it is a really powerful snowball effect. So I'm excited to see Ready put together a win if all that's gonna happen.
No curses yet, please.
I've already done it once. You can't stop me.
I think you've done it twice now, so it's not even a double negative.
All right.
We'll see how many
Uh,
we can get.
this this savings account playstyle scares me a little bit, just personally. How do you feel about it?
Oh, this is how I play it every time. I am perfectly happy, make every single econ breakpoint, play the weakest board. I'm typically a lost streak player, so this is like where I feel at home, where I'm like, nope, there's nothing you can do to stop me. I'm gonna get all my gold and just push and see where I go. Especially when like you don't have the units to like be able to like determine your spot yet, where it's just like whatever, I'll figure it out later. I'm just gonna AFK for a bit. You guys have fun. You guys fight it out, and I'll just be stronger later.
I feel you. Something I don't envy is the pressure of rolling first. I think that
Yes,
this
that I
gets
can
to
agree
me
with.
because like it's true. Whatever composition Og wants to play, Og is going to be able to roll for them quite early, right? Those forecasts, what have you. But I would also say, if you're rolling at the end of stage 3 or at the beginning of stage 4, players have not taken a lot of forecasts out of the pool. To me, that gets nerve-wracking because a lot of the time I've been in that lost streak position and I just don't see all the units that I need. And then the next turn, I've like made everybody's lives easier for them as long as they're not playing contested with me.
Yeah, I feel like it's that weird dichotomy where it's like, okay, you have that spot. If you're gonna roll first, you kind of want to play into the contested line because then you take it away from all of them to hurt them. Whereas, like you said, if you're playing an uncontested one from the others, it's like, okay, you just kind of helped everyone else since you rolled first and took everything out. So it's like kind of weird that it's like you kind of want to play contested, but it can't be overly contested because they can't have already hit their stuff either yet. So it's like this weird like mind game almost.
To me, it legitimately feels like when you're on a roll down and you're not seeing the units, you're literally like staring into the void.
Yeah, I think it's also one of those where it's like I try to like practice more in my games when I have those like, okay, can I play more flexibly to play around the units I hit? Like if I miss the like line that I'm playing for where it's like, okay, well I hit the other units because like you're going to hit something and it's just
Yes.
it can be hard to like recognize like, oh, did I skip this unit too many times that I could have played around it? And so it's like I think that's one where it just like takes a lot of experience having to do that. So I kind of force myself into doing it to learn and improve as a player to like force myself to have to do that and play more flexibly.
I think that's very admirable. I don't have enough mental fortitude to do that every day, but I can tell you that like I will try to do that some days.
Yeah, it definitely depends on the day. If I'm streaming, I don't have the mental energy for it. If I'm on my own, it's like, ah, let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Um, I don't think that Volterix is able to proc the trait quest just yet. I only see 5 non-unique traits.
Right. Yeah, because I couldn't remember if the gun goddess like counts towards it. So yeah, they need one more. They have a. Do they have anything on the bench to make it yet? Not yet. If they buy one of these Novas, they could get it next level. But yeah, I feel like it's a little bit hard to be able to get it on this stage without going level 7.
These item
Or
sims
just
are
take Cursed
also...
Crown and you can do it easily.
Oh, well, that would be true. It might also be a way to lose very quickly.
Yeah, the lose at the beginning of stage 4 strat might not be the play.
Well, is Volterix going to be picking something like the Sword Overflow here? No, it's going to be Pandora's. Ooh. I don't know how I feel about this one.
Yeah, I don't know if you. I mean, Pandora's. Actually, with having those emblems that just felt kind of useless, I think Pandora's is great there. You can just roll those emblems. So, like, to help be able to spike something better, even if the Radiant Declaw itself wasn't good, because it's very AD heavy lobby. So, like, you might sack a few rounds to do that, but you can also reforge all the emblems as you go for it. So, I kind of like the Pandora's pick there over the swords. So, yeah.
Um, I mean, that's completely reasonable to me. I think the only problem I see with the Pandoras is, like, how often are you going to be willing to slam the item that you receive out of Pandora's? Because that Radiant item is one that, like, you're not going to have that many chances to roll when you're on a win streak.
Yep. Yeah, and that Radiant being like 80% of your augment, if it's on your bench, you're not getting any value from it. So it's like you want to slam it as fast as you can, but it's like, how many turns does it take you to actually get like something that is usable? And you're of course not gonna greed for the absolute bis, but there are some where it's like you do have to skip a few items where it's just like this doesn't help my board at all.
And you can really see that the augments, or like this, the fact that this is a prismatic round has really impacted the way the lobby looks, because CMB lost their loss streak. They actually rolled down pretty heavily on stage 3 too, but they weren't able to find enough power relative to the prismatic augment that everybody just got. So now their win streak is over, and they're low rolled, and every round they lose is missing board value. So it becomes a much more difficult position. And I have to say of CMB's position that, like, if we were able to find a really powerful Radiant item augment, that could have turned this game into a complete victory. But right now we were stuck with something like Morello Edge of Night Jax, which just feels bad.
Yeah, being forced to put the Morellos on Jax and not having like real items there when you're playing a hero augment is definitely very rough to like not be able to spike when you need to, or like save some HP in some of these fights that you want to be able before you're able to actually stabilize.
Yeah, it can be really tough to play these stage threes. In particular, two cost reroll is a type of line that not a lot of people have had a chance to play very much of this set, just because it hasn't been that powerful. So, being able to play hero augment correctly is something that maybe some of our players don't have as much recent practice with.
Yeah, it's one of those where like you have to hit it, and especially Jax, which is so reliant on having Stargazer. So it's like you could see the augment in your game, but then like you don't have Stargazer, you can't pick it. So it's like how many reps do these players have on some of these heroes? But here, as we look at Wages board, I want to call out, got a Darkstar spat from the Asol quest while already playing around these Darkstar units.
It's funny, isn't it?
Never happens to me, but I feel like everyone else always hits the Darkstar spat every single time.
Yeah, Basso also has a crazy combination. Um, Basso has Timebreaker, Meeple, Bastion.
Yeah, always feels good when you get ones that synergize around it. Instead of like having these like, oh well, I can only use like one or two of these. When you're like all three of them kind of fit in like what is already a like S tier comp, like to be able to play around like Corky Rivet, and it's like, oh wait, all three of these emblems just work for it, so that you can kind of shift that board a little to cap that board even higher than what is already an S tier comp.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy business right there. As for Wasian, this really does seem like a much more powerful Dark Star spot compared to the one that we saw from Basso's skills in our previous game. We're so rich. And one of the great things of when you take solo leveling, we have even EXP.
We don't have to play Timebreaker at this weird point to get our 3 odd XP back, to be able to fix it. No cognitive tax. It just feels good that you can hit your breakpoints.
It feels really good. But this Jax looking like a menace.
Yeah, it's starting to get to the point, but it still like needs a little bit more work. I mean, Wasion's board is insane, but I don't know. I think CMB might be able to end up pulling it out. I do want to jump over to Og's board if we can, because I feel like they're now 1 life. They have a savings fund and invested, so we have 9 rolls stocked up. Like this is the I think we're a little poor to go all the way to 9. So oh, never mind. The savings account just cashed in, so we'll see. Do we skip straight to 9 next turn and do all of this in one big roll down? It sure looks like it. We have the 12 gold and 12 rerolls worth. Like, you don't need as much gold to hit 9, but it's really scary going 9, only gonna have like 30-ish gold, plus all the free rerolls, and those units are all expensive. When you're buying all 5 costs, if you want 2-star 5 costs, that's your 30 gold right there. So, it'll be, it makes these roll downs so scary. Like, ideally you want to be 2 lives here to be able to do it.
The Fior is so nice to see in your shop here, but I do have to say, like, I cannot see the right move being to roll all the way down. I think that this might be a great stopping point. That does that for you. This might be a great stopping point.
I feel like just wanted to get through all of the free rerolls to go. Do we even have 9 units?
I feel conflicted about the way that this turn happened. I feel really conflicted. I know you wanted to see 1 Vex, but like there's decent stuff on the board, and you can't just end up in a position where you can no longer buy any units or make any interest for the rest of the stage.
Yeah, agreed. I think as soon as the Graves too, like I don't hate the rolling a little bit more, and then high rolling the Fiora too as well. It looks like might have needed the Fiora too as well, so.
It looks like we might have lost.
Maybe we did need to roll even more.
That's crazy.
That's why this is so scary though, not having, like, it feels like you have to have like 90 gold to be able to do this roll down, because, like, especially when you have specific items for like the Vex. Like, it's a bit different if like you're playing more around, oh, we hit the Vex.
Oh, there's the Vex.
Like that changes so much, makes this so much, like, even the 1-star Vex feels like it makes this board viable.
That's definitely part of it. I think this is one of those really great shops to see, though. Having this combination, Shen and Rammus, is so much better than just having a Rammus. One thing that I will say, Og does not have a Kali or Aatrox. Those are hard units to find on level 9, and those are units that make this board dramatically more powerful. You don't have the itemization to take care of Shred and Sunder for your hybrid AD and
Yep.
AP carries. So those are really crucial parts of the board, and so is having precision.
Yeah, and we also like we don't have a Vanguard for this unit. We don't have any traits. We have two Bastion with this Frost, who's not gonna give you any value. So it's like you just have to win through pure unit strength because you don't have the traits helping you out. But if I had to rely on a board to do it through pure unit strength, this is the board.
Yeah, it's great that you were able to get Graves in on the previous turn as well. Um, as early as you can get him in, like just having that first upgrade makes such a world of difference.
Yeah, the problem is though these upgrades cost gold and we're sitting at 0. So every time we buy an upgrade, that means we can't buy a unit to synergize with it to like so it feels like all our money is going to Graves upgrades when we need to upgrade our board too, which is sometimes like what Graves kind of just hurts you a bit there at times.
Yeah, if only we had Misfits right now, I think we would be really happy.
This
It
would be
seems like,
insane Misfits angle.
yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen the left side like only unique traits.
look like this. Yes, this is crazy business.
Is this every unique trait in the game except for MF? So I guess you could fully fill out the left side if you had an MF if you wanted just unique. I think this is all of them.
Well, you could fill it out if you had another round to play, but it might not be the case here for Og. Graves against both MF and Urgot, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna
Yeah.
happen.
I feel like as much as like you want the Graves early to be able to hit, I feel like when you don't have a full item for Graves, like it's hard to get like he's basically a scaling champ, and when your board is kind of weak around the rest, like it's just not gonna be enough until you're able to scale those upgrades. And that's why a lot of times when I play that, like I kind of at times prefer the Jhin when I'm like scared to where it's just like I don't have perfect Graves items. I'd rather just have the Jhin for the value, which didn't hit the Jhin, so you have to play around what you hit there. But that's why it makes it so scary that wasn't able to save more HP earlier, that you're forced to at 1 life at 4-1. Like, your options are kind of there, like, just gone, that it's like you have to do it and you just have to pray that you hit.
Yeah, a really big challenge, that kind of playstyle. I commend Og for trying it. It's not something that I'm sure I would have the courage to do in tournament, to select those two specific augments. And I'm sure there are plenty of decisions that you could have done differently on that roll down, but it's a challenge to yourself to do that roll down on 4-1, a round that only has 30 seconds to play.
Yeah, I think that's one of those where it's like, if I'm making that decision in tourney, it's on checkmate. I don't think I'm doing that like early, like day 1 to be able to, like, when it's like you want more of like because this is tough board, you want to be able to move up. Like it becomes so scary to, like if you take that 8 there to have to be able to play from behind the entire time to play up. Whereas if it's checkmate, it's like okay, you're playing for the first, and like that is a great angle to play for it. And if you don't go first, the other positions don't really matter there. So I feel like that's where it's like I get scared in tourney when it comes to it for those reasons.
Yeah, it can be a really big challenge. CMB's one-off of Jax would be a huge power spike. We've already seen this Jax do some very interesting stuff.
Yeah, and hitting the Milio 3 to be able to like just be the strength of this board while we're missing the Jax, but being really close. The Pantheon, we don't have any tank items on this board, which is a little bit rough. That the front line will fall over a bit earlier before the Jax can fully scale up. And without having the Jax too, like it's gonna die pretty quickly. Volterix on the other side, double Darksteel, or not Dark Star spat, and the Voyager very, very well. Like we mentioned, the Pandoras being able to roll the emblems that did not have well. This Acel is gonna be a menace as it just tears through everything. This Dark Star Acel in this current patch is just crazy and just tears through the front line of units.
This game's so funny, Cora. What did Volterix start off this game playing?
I don't. What was it? I don't remember what the spots were. It was like
It was
because we had a
Meeple.
couple last.
It was Meeple Primordian.
Okay, that's right. Where it's like, yeah,
And like
Primordian's kind of weak at the time. It's good for resource, but
maybe we had like a Giant Slayer slammed.
yeah. And now we're just big asshole.
We are big asshole. That's very, very accurate. I would say, um, was it Weijin who also got the Dark Star emblem?
Yes.
It's a much more challenging thing to play this composition contested.
Yeah, agreed. I also just want to this Voyager spat is great. Let's just throw it off on the bench there for a bit. Let's hit our 3 Dark Star. Let's hit Prismatic.
Ooh, that would be tempting to me, but I don't think Volterix is forced to do that.
When you
This
already hit
Aesol
the
is
two
so
Dark
powerful.
Star, like it's scripted, right? It's guaranteed. You just hit another Dark Star. Everyone's hitting it today, so what's one more?
What's one more?
I
Um,
can say this because it's not my game at risk.
what a great attitude to have. Um, I don't know like what most boards are capable of doing against this. Part of the challenge with Darkstar is that like you do have to chew through this extra front line, and you also have the luxury of empowering a backliner. This backliner in particular has the ability to do crazy nuke damage, and I've cursed them again.
All day today.
Holy. I'm sorry, Volterix. It's not my fault, I swear.
It's the Riven's fault from last game still somehow. We didn't get to see Big Riven, so every problem today is Riven.
Oh god, ready. Please hit some units. That's not a fruitful roll down.
We're a bit Oh, there's the MF, but
Oh!
okay.
Fast thinking.
I'm really glad we got to see this board like twice today, because this is definitely a board that's like starting to show up, and I feel like people don't know the strength of it yet. So it's like really cool. I think the Challenger spat is like kind of what enables this, to be able to play the Challenger Ergot and get to the 4 Challenger buff, but it's not going to be enough here. You're still going to get run over even with the MF3. Is
It's
that
not just
final? Oh, that's perfect lethal, it looks like.
that might be a UI thing. I think Ready might have gotten blasted. That's a lot of units.
That is
Um,
true. Yeah, I guess I don't know if it shows the negatives there on the UI or not.
I will say Basso was
Minus
in a
1. Okay, so just a
situation.
little bit over perfect lethal.
Yeah, Basso was in a situation where we were like, "Oh, these emblems are awesome." We're no longer in a position where like this spot looks enviable. We have Steadfast Heart Milio. We've got what is
Hey, more
this
crit is crit.
the Kirche Shard? I don't know what the anima cash out one is called. Kirche Shard Riven.
I think it's a sparking prototype. I think it's a sparking. Yep.
Arcing Prototype. Yup. You really are a Lost Streak player.
Yep. Except I don't really play anima. I lost streak without the anima, but I know the sparking one, and I don't know why. Oh, I mean, we see on the other side the
Whoa.
Jax hero. Now that we've hit the Jax, able to take it down. So like, yeah, what you mentioned, what were great emblems. Having 4 Timebreaker, having all the meeples, playing like a variation of the standard Corky Riven. It's not enough once like this Jax hero augment. Once you hit that augment, I think is crazy. So like they buffed the hero so many times, and now that like the Stargazer is less contested than it was because normal Jax has been nerfed a lot, but hero Jax has been buffed. So it's no longer like that unit is way less contested than it used to. And I feel like that's what was always holding the hero augment back, is that it was contested and you were never gonna hit. Same with heat was it heat death? But it's like, when are you hitting Mordekaiser 3 when everyone's trying to play around this unit? But now that the Jax is open, you can play this line again, and it is very strong after all the buffs that it's gotten.
That's a really interesting point. I will say we do have one Corky player who's still alive in the lobby. He happens to be win streaking. Ladder Slayer is doing really well right now. I think there's a decent chance, yeah, he may already be on level 9. And I guess if I can speak to the differences between Ladder Slayer and Basso skills this game, Basso skills had great emblems for the core keyboard, but those emblems don't necessarily make Corky himself stronger.
Right.
That might be part of the problem. Whereas with Ladder Slayer's board, I know he just lost. I'm sorry, Ladder Slayer. with Ladder Slayer's board, I believe if you'll bear with me and picture his augments, picture his items, he has double Deathblade, Radiant Guardbreaker, and Baron's Lair, which all come back around to empowering this Corki. If
Yep.
you see the damage graph on
Oh.
these Corki, I I guess we know what he might have lost to.
Hmm. Where did we get the third Darkstar one? Because this was not the Pandora's one that I mentioned.
No, this is actually not Voltarius. This game is not real. It's not a real game.
How did Weijin get 3 Darkstar? What is this called a Chaos? Where did this come from? How did...
Oh yeah, that would be a great thing to mouse over. Spatula, frying pan, and component
GG.
handles. You cannot
Have a
be
Darkstar
serious.
spat and then get 2 spats when you have a Reforger already. GG. That's why we got this out of nowhere and we missed it. Because
Wow.
just gifted 2 spats. That's insane. You know, these players are just better. This is why I'll never challenge you.
No. Legion is in a different class of insane high roller. Cause what is this? I feel
Okay.
like Voltarius earlier
If you're
in the
Volterix,
game.
you have to roll that emblem now, right? Like, you have to compete, you have to also hit 3 Darkstar. Like, that's your only play, right?
Well, to me, it's not obvious that Voltarius is in a spot where he can win if he gets it. Like,
You definitely can't win
Is that-
without it, though.
it does it beat a 3? Well, it doesn't matter. He has 0 gold. He has 6 Rivens. That's
Yeah,
not
but
enough.
I'm pretty sure Riven 3 loses to it.
Riven
too.
3 loses for sure. I'm just wondering, like, if Voltarius was possibly in a spot to go for a 3-star 5 cost. Like, I feel like that might be a better win condition than, like, the 1 in 30 of getting the right emblem, and then also being level 10.
Yeah.
Or,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
I
'cause,
guess you
I
only
guess
need...
even though you have to be level
Yeah.
10, right? Because
You have
even
to
though
be
it
level
has new
10.
recruit, like, you could fit... The Darkstar one specifically does require level 10.
Yeah, so I think Voltarius is just going to say, like, I'm happy with 2nd place.
Yeah.
I did a moderate amount of high rolling. I have met the real high roller. The real high
Moderate
roller...
amount. It was insane high roll, but it's just like there's always a bigger high roller out there.
This is crazy. You think your first is granted, but no. It's
Wait.
stolen out from
Oh.
under you.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was just hoping for the 9 Darkstar out of Voltaric, and Wage is just like, here, watch, this is how it's done.
This is completely diabolical.
This is really cool to see, though, to be able to hit. 'Cause
Oh,
we always
I'm
talk
getting
about,
sucked
like,
into the hole. I'm getting sucked in. And it's over.
I'm pretty sure even if Volterix was able to go 9, hit the 9 Darkstar, would still lose to Weijin, because Weijin has the Blitzcrank, and if you don't know, Blitzcrank can kind of reset from being sucked in, so it's whoever, like, units die last. So if you're ever in a 9
Oh.
Darkstar v9 Darkstar, make sure you have one of them on a Blitzcrank, because you will lose to the other if they have one. So it's like very niche tech that probably no one knows about, because how often are you in a 9 Darkstar battle?
Are you supposed to, like, corner trap the Blitzcrank so that it's not procced too early? That strikes me as
think
something we
so,
might have to
because
do.
I think it's just you want it to be sucked in last and then reset. I'm not sure if you have to corner it, because I don't remember how, like, the Darkstar picks which unit. I think it might be closest to the center, but that I'm not sure on. I just know I've seen 9 Darkstar battles where the Blitzcrank always wins it, because it kind of resets as another unit that then gets pulled in, and whichever dies last.
Yeah, I mean, all I can say is there must be some kind of, like, script writer behind the scenes, because you are going to be surprised by the name of today's TPC Cup. Guess what it is? It's the Darkstar Cup. It's the
Yeah,
Darkstar Cup.
I mean, just click random emblems every time. You're guaranteed Darkstar. Darkstar Cup, you get Darkstar spot. GG.
We'll be back with more Dark Star Cup in just a moment as we take a quick break. We're coming back to this lobby. See you very soon.
Bye all.
Welcome back, everyone. We are back with Domino,
Hello,
in addition
hello.
to myself, Invective, and the lovely Cora, for Game 4 of the Dark Star Cup.
Yes, I'm excited to join you all and be around for this next one and the ones that are coming after that. We are, coming from a bunch of games I've been watching. It's been interesting. I do want to say that, seeing that Prismatic Dark Star was amazing last game.
I also went to go back to check Wasian's VOD during the quick break to see when click Call to Chaos. I didn't have sound on, but I went to check. Had a sword ready, so picked it, instant Dark Star spat, had two Reforgers, opened up an item anvil they got, had another sword in it, so instantly made both two Dark Stars within like 5 seconds. And it was like, alright, just going level 10.
All
Had to
right,
econ
just
back
make it
up to get to
happen.
that point. So yeah, just didn't even have to look for the swords from like Treasure Dragon or anything, just had them already, ready to go.
That's amazing.
Only Wasian.
Only Asian. I thought maybe we could take a look at the standings really quickly here. They're not fully updated just yet. But before we go into this next game, looking at the points here, what are our thoughts insofar?
I
One
mean,
of my
Wasian's
thoughts.
definitely closing out there with the 9 prismatic, being able to take like the sole lead over the others, as we saw. Robin with the 5th, not able to like close on points. Darthnub, we didn't see in the lobby, but unfortunately taking 7th and dropping a bit down. So we will go into this next game with like Wasian as the sole point leader and see if can maintain that one.
Yeah, I think the only person who can contest it without having, their third game shown is David Ace. David Ace is definitely someone who could do it, though. I feel like he's really overdue for a strong TPC performance, and this could really be one of them.
Especially with the first two games starting out with 2 seconds. So even if it just gets another second here, that will actually pass up Wasian if, you know, just the level of consistency there. We don't know the score yet to see if that will hold true, but definitely potential there.
See, we know that David Ace is someone who played the first two games corky. Um, if you were in a position, Cora or Domino,
Mm.
where you had to play, you had played 5 games of corky, and then for your sixth game, you were once again offered an opportunity to play corky. You're already through to the next day.
I'm not touching
Would you
Corky
play
with a
corky, or
6-foot
would you have
pole.
a little fun?
I would have a.
I
I
mean,
can't play the same comp more than twice in a row, or I will lose my mind, and this is why I don't climb. You know, I did it
see,
once, I did it twice. I'm not doing it a third time, like hard forcing. You know what I mean? Even if it's not hard forced, I don't want it. Give me something fun. Let me play something else.
agreed. That's one where, like you said, like I feel the same way. Where it's like, oh, if you played 5, I'm like, it'd be hard to ever feel like I'd be in a spot where have played it 5. Like I know it's tourney, so it's like I can set that aside, but I would never be
True.
able to do that on ladder. So it's like I would feel like if I did really well playing 5 games of Corki, I would just feel like I cheated the tournament. That it's like, how did I have the spot to play that every game? Because I'm not looking to do that. And it's like, okay, well, I guess it was just gifted to me at this point. I guess I'll just play out the 6th one and just take the free points and move on to tomorrow.
I mean, I'll give my answer. I feel like I'm a thrower. I feel like I'm someone who throws. So when that sixth game comes around and I'm offered that corky spot, something in my brain just wants any excuse to click something else. Whether that's
Yes.
like an augment that takes me down the wrong path, or just anything to not be bored. And it's not even like a conscious thing like I hate Corky. I love Corky. I think he's a fun unit, and his ability is fun, and his trait is fun. I love the meeples, but it's so ingrained in me that I should try to do something interesting that I
Mm.
just end up throwing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's felt for sure.
I could see myself in that same spot. And it's why, like, definitely, like, you could see it in my ladder play sometimes when look at my scores where it's just like, oh, I was climbing, I like really well. I played a bunch of the same comp, and then I just, I hit that peak, make a nice little mountain peak there, and drop down because I'm like, no, I had to play something else. I got bored with it, and it's just like, oh. Then I like really start to cook, and it's like, oh, cook too much. Should just go back, and then just keep resetting that.
Yeah, it can get really tough. Ladder is a cruel thing to go
A
through
cruel
sometimes.
world. Yeah, absolutely. While we are waiting very quickly for game to start, we are going to be in the same lobby again for this next one. But for visual refresh, because that's always good. I think, we saw a lot of lovely things from everybody this last game, and obviously the prismatic Dark Star was incredible, but is there something else we're looking for? Is there, looking at this lobby, looking at what everybody's doing, like, having seen everybody's gameplay kind of for the last game, are we looking for anything specific? Because me personally, I'd like to see that, that roll down with the 12 free rerolls and 30 gold 5 cost functioning.
I mean,
Yeah, that was one where it's like that roll down was so close. It was like just like if would have had one more life to save one more turn to have like we saw that the turn after Og's reroll, like the turn 2 of rolling to like stabilize more after the loss, like hit some of those units where it's like if you had had a little more HP and could have waited one more turn to do that roll down, it's like maybe could have hit it all. So it's like those like fast nines are like really difficult in some of these spots, and when the lobby's just capping out because everyone has Dark Star spat. It's like, okay. I really have to hit here, not having the gold to do so.
Yeah.
It just means like you can't really play for those top positions.
Mm. I know we've been seeing a lot of misfortune, or at least not like a lot, an acceptable amount of misfortune. One thing that I would really like to see is Diana. Um,
Ooh.
Yeah, we haven't
with
seen any
her
yet.
as a main carry, I feel like the conditions have to be really, really strong. You have to recognize which of these are strong arbiter picks. How early can we like if we're stacking HP on Diana, we might be stacking it from an early point in the game. Like, can we do enough of that? And then there are also some emblems like Vanguard and artifacts like Wit's End, where you can also really enable her. But she's kind of a niche main carry.
That's true. I haven't been seeing a lot of that at all recently.
Yeah, it feels like it's one of those units that like you need everything to go right, but when everything goes right, it's crazy because it's like ideally you want like a Vanguard spat that powers her up so much. You want a good Arbiter where like the best being on every 3 attacks gain permanent HP, so you just have like a 6,000 HP Diana going around that kills everything. And then just like any combat odds that help power it up. You also need the econ to be able to hit it. So it's just like it takes so much to go right, but when it goes right, it feels like just pure S tier. Like it's hard to like it can beat some of these normally like cap boards that would beat everything.
I also like one thing that I really love about the Diana board, even as it looks more and more like we're not going to be able to see Diana this game. One of the things that I really love about it is that you can play Anima for the entire game.
Yep.
Hmm. Yeah.
So it's one of the only compositions where if you have Anima at an early point in the game, you're not guaranteed to get that 400 cash out where you get those tier 2 Anima items that become, or maybe they're tier 3 Anima items, but like those are the ones that you really associate with being able to purely win the game on their own. But the tier 1 or tier 2 anima items are the ones that have associations with those anima units like Aurora and Jinx or Alawi, and you are playing those 3 units typically on the Diana board. So that is what to me makes it really cool is you get to use what is normally like a subpar reward.
Yeah, and especially because it's like you don't have to like fully like you can lost streak early before like the Diana has had time to scale, so you can stack up a lot of those. But like if it's not a cash out you're looking for, even when you're about to start winning, you can still save the tech because you're still going to be playing the anima after it, so you can like slowly build up the anima after that as you win streak and kill units. So it doesn't feel like a manager like it's not like, oh, okay, I had to hit this on this like this certain breakpoint. Like you have time to cash it out like later, even though you start winning, but you can't really do that in any other anima angle because typically you're selling all the anima units and pivoting to another board.
Yeah. I'm so sorry for dragging us off topic. If we could go back to Volterix one more
Of
time, I
course.
think that would be really cool because Volterix is committed to going to level 9, is committed to playing around 5 costs, already has the Rage Blade slammed, and what I want to know is what is the Arbiter that he selected?
Yeah, did we
Oh,
get an
let's.
econ arbiter to help push it?
No, not quite.
Unfortunately not, but it should be with this Rage Blade on the Zoe doing damage takes, it should be able to stack it up fairly quickly to be able to gain some of the AP, so it should just be strong board early. Which, you know, if you're able to streak, that is econ, but we're streaking in the wrong direction.
Oh. Oh dear.
It
But
happens to
we
the
are
best of
rich.
us.
We're at, 39. We could sell one of these NASAs if we really wanted to. We probably don't, having hit this Mordekaiser though, so we can just chill at the 30. But yeah, I think this is one of those openers that you kind of like look for to be able to play Fast 9. Ideally, you would want to see some upgrades and like an Econ Arbiter, but you get the Econ from your Augment, so then you have the Rage Blade, which is the most important item to be able to play for that Vex. So, just solid angle.
What do you think? Do you think CMB is playing around something like the Aesol here?
Yeah, I think AP Flex is like fine because you can play around the Aesol. You can also play around like the Karma. I think it's just kind of like we are prize fighter, so it's just we want to streak as much as we can at the moment. And I think that is one of those where you can just play AP Flex. to be able to like based off what you hit, and you'll just because that a lot of the AP flex boards also just want a lot of items. So if you're able to win streak early with this prize fighter, then like it gives you a lot more options in what like multiple carries you want to play on that board.
I'm vibing with you, but I feel like Asol is sort of the only main carry that I really like before level 9. And then you get into like the bards and the Sonas, and I become a little bit more convinced of the notion of AP flex. Right now, I feel like Karma is a very desirable secondary carry on a lot of boards. She might hold your Void Staff, she might hold your Morello. And if you have 3 items for her, that's good. But I very rarely see her be a suitable primary carry, where if you only have those 3 backline items, you would prefer not to be putting it on Karma. So, if Karma is not super viable as that primary carry, and we know Nami is not like everybody's favorite primary carry at 4 cost right now. I guess like my concern is CMB in a position where if you miss it, we have Diana.
We also have a
On the Wasian side, yeah.
on this. Yeah, Wasian has the Diana, but also on Og, I'm curious what Arbiter is because we have Arbiter Shepherd spot, so which go very well. Like that's a LeBlanc right there. So
Let's see what
I'm
the
really
Arbiter
curious
is.
after Armor MR, which is very strong for our frontline. We can put that Arbiter spot on one of these Vanguards. Like this Nasus is gonna be very tanky. I'm also curious on Wasian's side if we have like that stacking HP since we have the Diana that we were excited to see.
We can find that out.
And it's a Diana
It
too.
is.
And it's one of the best arbiters you can get.
This looks nasty. I'm excited to see what it what it ends up being like.
Invective, you have reversed the caster curse, and you got the Diana.
You got caster buff.
Well, I'm very thankful to Wasian for playing a composition that I wanted to see. But let's just remember, just because we're gonna see it doesn't mean he's gonna win with it.
What do you mean?
Very true.
That's what it means.
I mean, we're in a good spot for it. We have like good items. We just need the Rage Blade as well. We have a sword to make like the BT. I forget the name. What is the name of this artifact? Is this the Undomitable one? I forget what it's called.
Yes, Indomitable Will? The Indomitable.
Just the Indomitable.
Okay,
Solid tank item early, so should be pretty strong. It's probably not the best artifact you want to see, like you were hoping for. Like you said, there's a lot of artifacts that this Diana can use, but I feel like it's not one you can complain about either. You didn't get like an AD like artifact that's unplayable on this board.
It's okay. He's going to get a Vanguard emblem somehow.
After last game, he'll get whatever he wants, so it's all scripted. I will be shocked if we don't get a Vanguard spot now somehow.
Oh, God.
Well, really right now I feel like we're looking for this extra bow, right?
Yeah,
We
and
have
we're low
a
enough
component
placement,
anvil.
we get an anvil, but not quite enough. Could be a BT slam.
Looks like it.
And a
Roth
roster.
too.
That's kind of
That's
crazy.
big.
Yep, there's the BT. So all we're missing is one bow, and then we just need tank items for the rest of our board to stall out for this Diana to scale up some more. But getting this BT and the Titans, this is a lot to like be able to, it'll live forever to be able to stack up the permanent HP right now. So I don't know how much HP this Diana is going to end the game with, but this is one of those potentials where like the Diana does get up to like a 6,000 HP Diana.
Yup.
I'm seeing a lot
This
of
Mixie is
Arbiter
looking really beefy.
everywhere.
Yeah, this lobby is very Arbiter heavy.
It always feels like that where it's like, you don't see it for a couple games, like you don't see anyone, and then all of a sudden, everyone's on the Arbiter train,
Yeah.
or like, just with like traits in general. It's just like, everyone seems to hit the same opener or something, it's like, oh, it's my turn for this one, and it's like, wait, it's also your turn. What?
And yours.
What?
And you get an Arbiter. And you get an Arbiter.
Well, we do
Arbiter
know
for
that
all.
we do know that Volterix wants to get to level 9, doesn't want to get stuck with LeBlanc, but wants to get to Vex. That being said, one of the ways that Volterix could get to level 9 is by playing LeBlanc. And I think that part of the problem, if you're Wasian, is that... Ooh.
Oh, I do love this.
Let me finish my thought.
Let's
If
see
you're-
what our thoughts.
If you are waiting for... If you are trying to play LeBlanc on your level 7 roll down, like, you really need to find one, or otherwise, like, your board is kind of inefficient. You're missing one Arbiter and you're missing one Shepherd. So, hopefully Wasian is going to be able to hit that in addition to, you know, all the other good stuff.
Well, Tarek's here
Well, let's-
getting the anima there on a 6 loss already. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, if we don't slam items or do anything, like, might be able. Like, you can, even though it's 3-2, just now getting anima in, you can get a solid cash out if you like lose streak the rest of the stage. You'll be down to 1-2 lives, but it is possible.
True.
I will say I do like the fact that, you know, this set's loss streak trait doesn't need... Like, you don't need to be playing anima for the entirety of your lose streak to get that multiplier on your attack.
Agreed. I think that is like a welcome change that, like, in other ones where it's like, oh, you didn't hit fortune before 3-2 or
Yeah.
before 2-3, like, you just can't play it because you can't start stacking it. Sure, like, you miss out on actually gaining the tech during those stages, during those losses, but you get like the bump and the increase from having already lost once you start fielding it. So it's like,
Absolutely.
you may not be playing for like the 4 or 500s, but you can hit a 300 cash out. Whereas,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
if this was like the old versions, it's like, oh, you're stuck, like, you're getting like a 200 at best, so it's like, it's not even worth it.
Robin's got a fully itemized Master Yi on the other side, which is terrifying for 3-3.
Yep.
I do...
With the malware,
With
having the last
Kahuna
front
Huna,
backside too.
this is absolutely spoopy. I do want to check in on
It's a
Ready,
really good
our
setup.
other lost streaker here. Kind of, sort of.
The 3 Primordial, 3 Timebreaker, full econ trait value.
Yep. Money printing all the way.
And then the encounter for, was this the encounter that this is gold? Oh no, gold sub was last game. This is the 2 item anvils, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. The games start to run together throughout the day.
That's super fair. They really do.
It happens to the casters, it happens to the players. Heck, it sometimes happens to the audience.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, Reddy is playing some Corki. I recognize some Corki when I see it. Actually, with the
disagree with
Tom Kench, I feel like we're a little bit flexible. But really, I don't envy playing Master Yi in this position where you know that Robin is already in such a commanding Master Yi spot.
Do we also know what the Stargazer was? I know Basso is playing. Oh, we see Basso just hit the 3-star Jax, but
We were playing the
oh,
Alter.
I feel like Alter is also really good for this hero Jax. Because that is a
I'm with
lot
you.
of attack speed and health for it. Like, I feel like that is one of the betters if you're able to stack it up early. Like, you tend to hit, if you have Stargazer from 2-1, I feel like you're normally hitting it at the end of stage 3. Cash it out.
Yeah.
And if we're hitting the 3-star Jax on this turn, like, it just, you spike all together at the same time. And so Basso should start winning here. I don't know the rest of the board, but I feel like that's kind of the point where it's like you're starting to like really hit.
Let's take a look at Bossos.
Were we lied to?
It definitely
It certainly seems like it.
it
Hey,
did say 6
that's
out of
all
9,
right.
but it shows 3-star.
Okay.
I
Okay.
got baited by the image. Because it popped up showing a 2-star and then it switched to a 3-star. So
Yeah, I think we may have gotten baited by the HUD there.
okay, we see Wasian doing the same 6 out of. Okay, I didn't know that's how that works there because it showed the 2-star and then switched to 3. Interesting. Okay, so I just didn't know how this HUD UI works.
It's alright if we slow it down a little bit with the Drax 3. I think the really great timing would be for Basso's skills to hit this at the same time as Alter activates. which I think typically is like right now.
We're
It's also
pretty
interesting
close.
having this challenger spot here, because like typically you don't really have a challenger on this board. Like we're playing the Jinx for now, so I'm curious like how we transition this board from like the standard Jax board. If it's like, I would guess that you want the Kindred, you get the Nova, you're gonna get the free shred from Aatrox, instead of like you see people play like the Milio TF. So like I really like this variation that going here to be able to play around these, because that Challenger spot is gonna do a lot for the Jax just to be able to heal up even more and get that upfront attack speed to scale faster.
Yeah, I definitely agree that it's like good to see the adaptation with the emblems that we've been provided. And I think that I agree with you, the Kindred is going to be a really important piece on this board. But one thing that I am concerned about is just that we're not going to have a super tank. And we know that this is like a scaling augment. So we are in a position where we have the Jax 3, we have the altar cashed out, we're off to the races, and we have the ability to keep putting valuable frontline pieces on our board. Stuff like this Morgana is a really great next in. But I don't know what we're going to do with all of these items. They feel lower value than what typically ends up on this board.
Yeah, I'm curious to see which. I know the Challenger will go back, probably the Titans. Okay, I guess we don't go with the Challenger. I guess that makes sense on the Lulu too. I feel like we're over-indexing on the healing though with the Gunblade BT when like the Challenger does similar but also gives the attack speed that's needed. But yeah, the items are kind of a bit scuffed, so it's like you have to make what you can. But I also do like, because it is altar, having like your main tank as like the Nunu, because you really want it to be a Stargazer as your main tank, because it benefits so much more. Instead of like typically you see like the Maokai or something being like the main tank to stall for the Jax that won't benefit from altar specifically.
Nunu might be a really popular tank in this lobby, though. Something I'm concerned about is how contested is it, and are we going to be able to get it? We do have Prizogs. Prizogs are fun.
Oh yeah.
And we
Always
get
happy to
Soul
see them.
Awakening, which is gonna scale this Jax even more. Already scaling unit to be able to scale more. I think Weijin, if the HUD's not lying, did hit the 3-star Diana this
Find
turn
out.
as well too. Who's
I think
also
that's right.
already
Yeah.
speaking before hitting. Can we check the HP on the Diana? I want to see how much it's at already now that it's 3-star.
Domino, you're gonna have to be the one to tell us. It's
Yeah.
hidden behind.
Oh, it's hidden behind the HUD. It is at 3,886.
Okay, we're almost at the 4,000 break, so I feel like we'll definitely hit 6K before the end of the game. It'll be a fun one to check on throughout the game to see
Absolutely. Keep
how
an
much
eye
we're
on
getting
that.
this
Yeah.
up to.
Wow, that duel versus the Master Yi was a lot of fun to watch, though. I feel like as the game goes on, that could end up being really, really. Like, right now, Master Yi barely survived. Diana could start to dominate as the game goes on, as she has more HP, but you saw how powerful Robin's setup was there.
Yeah, it's definitely very. Having the both Kindred 2 and the E2 both fully itemized. Like right now, it's a lot of damage that it will just take down that Diana, but the Diana, like you said, might be able to get enough HP to survive that just a bit to survive the E, and then to be able to go through and kill all the other units. Also, is that second augment is side effects, right? I feel like we don't see that augment a whole lot. And so as this Diana now is doing more damage, getting that healing from BT, it's gonna do even more damage to those ones around it. I always curious to see what boards people take side effects on, because sometimes it feels like an insanely broken augment if you have the right setup, and then other times it feels like it's not doing anything.
It's
and
extremely
it's so hard to tell
situational.
based off damage charts.
I would say that it's not just that it like does damage based on healing. It is also that it heals based off the unit's max HP. I feel like this is an underrated part of the augment where it doesn't have quite as much value as Spirit Link, the augment that used to be in the game, but it offers a Spirit Link like effect. And this is really, really important when we are stacking so much HP on Diana. I feel like that's the rationale that Weijin was following there.
Makes a lot of sense. I've also just seen triple Spirit of Redemption Leona just one-shot units from side effects.
But you've seen some crazy stuff. I did not know about that.
So it's like, I know that that augment can do a lot of damage if you have the perfect setup for it. But as we jump over here on Volterix, who like I said, was saving up all that gold from the, I can't remember the name of that augment to be able to push for
Cosmic
the extra XP for level
restart,
5. No, the late game scaling.
late
is
game
what I was,
scaling,
to be
right?
able to get to the Fast 9 board. We have a Radiant Sona. We have our Vex that has the Rage Blade. So like, and we did kind of cash out. What Rocket Swarm is probably a 300 cash out, so wasn't
Yeah.
able to quite make it to that 4, but having played it later, so it's still like this board is now hit, but like the others are also spiking around here too. So
I
we'll see if
also,
it's able to maintain
I
that
mean,
from the 85
honestly,
board.
I kind of feel like the 400 is definitely not always worth it. As in the 300 cash outs are pretty decent, and then the 500s are amazing, but the 400 seems to just be a 300 with a slight bonus. So if you are kind of low on HP, I think the Volterix probably made the right choice here of just letting it go.
I don't know. I think it's the after the last patch though, when they nerfed the 300s, that gives still these tier 1 like the specific units like this Rocket Swarm isn't gonna do as much.
That's true.
Because 400 is when you get to the tier 2 ones that you can hit some of the really broken anima ones. But sometimes like when you're at 1-2 lives, like you're not able to keep playing to hit the higher animas because you need to sell the anima units to be able to play that board. Seeing Rocket Swarm on Blitzcrank is like, it's not bad, but it's also like not ideal. It feels like
The only,
definitely lost some value.
yeah, the other thing I'm noticing is we don't just have a 2-star Blitzcrank, we have 6 Blitzcranks.
Oh, do
Yes.
we?
We
I
do.
We do have
We
Blitzcranks.
do.
That is not a trickster's last. That is 6 Blitzcranks.
Yep.
Fooled me.
Yeah, Volterix is keeping it well and truly hidden on the board.
Well, I guess the
and the
other
Vex
Two?
too.
Big.
the other part of it is that, you know, we're getting to go to level 10 this game. If we're like as stable as we look, I
Yeah.
think we can really get to level 10 this game. The Shepherd emblem is proving really valuable with the setup that we have on our board, where we're not committed to this traditional level 9 that we don't have the items for. We really get, like, it's incredible, by the way, to have 2 Blitzcranks, but I feel like I would really like this setup regardless. This
Yeah.
this Blitzcrank, this front line, to me feels powerful. It feels like this board has a very cohesive vision, and it's not trying to do all of the things that the normal Fast 9 board does.
I think
Yeah,
players
and
are
you have-
realizing with 3 other players on the
6
board,
Blitzcranks.
seeing the Blitzcranks, yeah.
Is there anyone, you know, pinging it? We see everyone showing up on the board, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
I'm not seeing any
It's like-
pings here, but I'm just seeing people with their eyes open.
Oh, our
Listen.
favorite, Big Acel.
It is Big Acel.
Now, I'm not
This might
familiar
be-
with this karma item, this divine artifact, Ari's Aura.
It's one of the, I think, the better apathetic ones. Because like, it's just a solid AP item. Like, you can pretty much always gain value from it from a unit, but as like, I don't know. I feel like it doesn't cap out as high as some of the other artifacts.
Sure.
though.
That makes sense. And
It's
I mean,
it's a mana item for sure.
Yep.
Like, I think that as for whether you are going to get a lot of AP out of it, not so much. It's also a positioning item. Like, if you remember a couple sets ago when we had anomalies, it is basically that old anomaly, like center of the universe,
right.
where you have the orbs that circle around this
Yeah.
unit. So I think a really great thing to do is to set up like a central thing for that, like a central position for that unit, or a position where like your enemy will wrap units around your front line so that you get more damage out of the orbs.
We after this fight, I want to see Diana HP check.
Yeah,
'cause
absolutely.
That's Wasion dropping down to. Where
I need a
now
Wasion
down to
HP
7
check.
from that 6 loss.
Diana is at
It feels like it's just-
4,700.
Okay, so it feels like the rest of the board just like
It's
don't
not
have
keeping
enough
up.
frontline to tank. You don't have enough assistance from this just single Kraken on the MF, so it's like That's a very expensive unit that we're not able to invest items in. So like,
Yeah.
it definitely feels weak that this Diana isn't able to scale up because it's not gonna live long enough as all the other units around it fall over.
Well, guess who we don't have on our board? We don't have LeBlanc. We don't have Shepherd, and we don't have 3 Arbiter.
Yeah,
And
that's
that made a
true.
difference in how much HP Diana got this game. And it also makes a difference in our board strength right now, obviously. So we're going to be dueling a Master Yi again, but 4 or 5 units are all focusing around this Diana, and even though she lives for so long, even though she
Oh,
takes
no,
so
Yi.
many of them out, Master Yi survives by a hair, and I'm sorry, Wei Jin. I'm sorry.
It's gonna be the end for Wei Jin
Hey.
and for CMB QAQ. I want to take a look at Reddy
We got
though,
to
who's
see some
sitting.
Diana though, even if it didn't win. We did
That's
get to see
true.
We saw it. Yes, that's all I asked for, I suppose.
some. We should have specified. We want to see Diana win. That is a big turtle though. I
That
love
is
how
a
this
huge
anomaly
turtle.
makes him so much bigger.
Makes everything
Yeah, it's
else look
cute.
super cute, you know? Like, come on, look at that mecha unit. That's smaller than the Fizz, by the way.
The meeps on the back of Ramus are just bigger than the
Yeah.
As for this fight, I feel like Riven has a chance to stick on this Yi. Oh, but the
She
Fiora
is.
2 over on Robinsong's side, that's really scary to me. Fiora 2 with this setup.
Yeah, this
Fiora
Fiora unit is so hard to track and
Oh,
fight.
we're-
There's so much RNG and where it can proc the vitals and
Oh.
it can just go around unhit and just take out all these priority units.
I think it would have been really cool to see Fiora have that 1v1 duel animation.
The
We were
animation,
really
yeah.
close to seeing it there.
Very close.
Really interesting setup from Basso to also play. I did not expect the Zaya to come through on this board as well. Like hitting the Nunu too to get that bigger front line. We got the Kindred that we mentioned earlier. We want to like to see on this board, but we're also getting like the Darkstar variation on this board too, being able to play the Jin with the Zaya. Really just really interesting board to see this Jax. This is not what I would have pictured in mind, but it's cool to see it.
I mean, this is also one of those situations where, like, yes, we over-indexed in healing a little bit, and it's affecting our overall item quality, but at the end of the day, we still have 3 really strong items on the Jax. And Jax is one of those units where I can imagine that against a normal Fast 9 board, he has a chance to win. But if you look at all the things that Volterix has got on his board, it becomes a lot worse. I believe Blitzcrank does so much damage to this Jax.
And the just Radiant Vex. Like Vex is already one of the best units. Give it a Radiant to make it even stronger. Like that unit is very difficult to deal with. Volterix at 7 Blitzcranks. We're getting there.
I'm scared the game's gonna be over a little bit too quickly. Volterix is never gonna be forced to sell his board
Yeah.
to try to play for this Blitzcrank. And
But
that's,
would you? For
that's the
fun?
worst thing.
Tourney,
The
no.
thing is, you're not
Ladder,
alone.
I could be convinced.
I believe in a tournament like this, you can actually get in trouble if you are selling in a situation where it's not justifiable.
Really interesting.
It does have a chance to impact other players' placements.
That is true.
Like for example, if one of your fights is against this player and you end up selling your board, it could end up advantaging or disadvantaging another player who otherwise would have been in a better situation. Robin Songs is fighting the ghost of Volterix. Is that is that sufficient for Robin to stay alive? Fiora is already dead, but Master Yi found a way to the back line and then died.
The Kindred's still alive, hasn't been touched yet. The top bench with the anomaly tanking very long.
The
it's
amount of
just not quite
CC
enough.
is just unreal.
I'm so serious, having one Blitzcrank 2 on your board often wins you the game. I have no idea. I've never seen anyone with 2 Blitzcrank 2s on their board from the position that Volterix was in.
Is Og
How does
holding?
what happened on the roll down?
Yeah, Og is holding.
Log is holding.
Of course. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to sell no matter what.
Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna make a difference regardless. This Vex is just gonna kill everything. It's like you look at the Vex items on both sides, and it's like
Yeah.
I will take a Radiant Death Cap every time. Who needs healing when you're just gonna kill everything? But that is the 7 Shepherd. Like gives a little bit of the stun to stall out, but the double Blitzcrank, the Radiant Vex, getting extra Sona items, it's just like it's way too much to cut through. Very well played from those Derricks from the one life. With just like the very well played Fast 9.
Yeah, and the EMEA players are starting to strike back a little bit. I feel like the top of our leaderboards do look a little bit more North American or America's centered, but at this point, it could really be anyone's game. It is a lot of fun to watch this interregional competition.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of like my favorite changes that they've made recently. I think they started doing that last set, if I'm not mistaken. We're having like one of the tourneys kind of mix them up, so it's like you get to see like the regional rivalries and get to see some of these other names that like you don't always get to see if they're not making worlds. If you're like strictly watching NA, get to see like some of these other players that like you kind of hear names of but don't get to see as often if you're not wholly watching. So it's really cool to see how they match up and what regional differences on the meta read that they have and how they match up.
Yeah, we really are seeing some very cool stuff come to the forefront. Um, would we have an opportunity to have a little bit longer conversation, or do we need to send it to a break?
We do have opportunity to have plenty of conversation, should we desire to. I'm currently on my end waiting on the standings update, which is trickling in slowly. I do believe that Lobby 4 might have been the one who has concluded the fastest, so we won't have full standings to look at just yet, but we can take a look at what we have so far.
Wow, David Ace is in a very powerful spot.
Yeah.
23 points after 4 games. I feel like, if you're averaging somewhere between, what is this? Like just shy of a 3,
Yeah.
it's a really, really strong performance. Like I said before, he's someone that I feel like deserves a chance to have a breakout performance.
Absolutely agree with you. I mean, this is one of the players who consistently has this wonderful performance, but it's never just quite high enough to, get away with the whole thing. But, this weekend might be the weekend. It might be his time. I think so far, everything that we've seen from David Ace has been exceptional. And while we have, some recurring front runners, it's nice to see his name at the top right now.
How many quirky games do you think he played?
I'm not sure I want to know.
The good old Corky check.
Oh, yeah.
I guess the other thing to look at is how are the players on the bottom end doing? Because I believe those bottom 8 are going to be eliminated after Game 6 today.
Yes, that's right. I mean, looking at how it is right now, some of these players really need to have some, some major positioning in the last game to give themselves a chance, and some of them rely entirely on players who are placed higher currently to, take an 8th to be able to advance. Personally, I am very much hoping that Me First or 8th and Vom and Death manage to escape the cutoff after Game 6.
I'm curious to see. I'm watching on the bottom there Bosso skills and Ready as like two that we've seen in like a couple of their games today, kind of being there on that bubble. They're able to be able to avoid that cutoff, and then it's one of those where it's like when you're at that bottom, At least I'm like, I just want to survive that cutoff, make it to day 2. You can mentally reset. You take, you know,
Yeah.
16 hours, whatever it is, before the next few games. You can just like chill out for a bit,
Exist.
just reset, and come back tomorrow and be like, all right, come in confident, be like, okay, I'm gonna gain those points back. You have to. There are cuts every 2 games in day 2, so it's like you can't
It's a lot more
like
pressure.
you have to be on top of your game from the start. But having that day reset gives you that time to like get in that mental space, knowing what you need to be able to do in the next day from the spot you're playing from, to just be prepared to go into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's also not negligible, like the difference in points that you get from just making it to day 2. Those players are looking at those points because not only is there the chance that you might have to play in week 1, I believe starting this set, maybe the bottom 4, I could be wrong, maybe the bottom 4 TPC players are automatically relegated to tier 2.
Oh,
And
I did not know that.
Oh.
they have a little bit less security than they used to.
I would call
Yeah,
that a
that's where
lot
like
less security. I mean, that's definitely a scary position to be in. Yeah, no tier 1 player wants to be essentially demoted, right?
yeah, that's where every single point matters. Where it's like every single cut that you make, you get a few more points towards like your overall
Yeah.
point standing for the entire like set. And to be able to avoid those relegation spots, like that might be all that you need. Is just like, oh well, I made one more cutoff to survive like 2 more games, and that was
Yeah.
enough. Like at the end of the set, that might be everything. And with how close some of these games get to, it might be one of those where it's like, oh, like you start questioning, what could I have done differently? Was it one fight that went wrong that caused me to just lose points, just miss a cutoff? So it definitely gets very stressful trying to think in like how every position can matter for you when you are in the bottom of the point standing.
Yeah,
I can tell you
absolutely.
those things live on in your head, right? Hey, with these bottom 8 or these like sort of lower point holder players, really what I want to see some America's pride. I'm sorry, I want to see less America's players than EMEA players in that bottom 8.
Agreed.
That's
That's just
fair.
how it is.
Yep.
That's just how it is. I want to see that regional average placement up.
Also, I will say, if you want to refresh scores, they're not all in yet, but there is some
Ooh,
exciting
I
stuff
can
at the top of the leaderboard.
absolutely. Give me a quick second here.
I won't spoil it yet till it comes up, but
The that is quite an update.
oh, you're refreshed more than mine.
Wow.
I had it over on the side. Soju was in first. I was
Oh.
following up from last week. Still,
Oh, that
you
would
know,
have been
Coco scores
a
were not
moment.
updated, but
Well,
still, I mean,
if
second
you
there for
direct
Soju.
your
The top
eyes,
of the leaderboard is very interesting.
That is
yeah,
very
there's an
interesting.
EMEA sandwich in the top 8.
We
6
see
America's players, 2 EMEA players on the top end.
Yeah, I mean, we were worried about Bustle Skills earlier, who was kind of in the danger zone, and now making it to like the upper end of the middle pack, so that's good. I am heartbroken to see Vom and Death, Crazy Cat, and Quintanilla in danger, but the show must go on.
Yeah, anything can happen in these next 2 games. Like
That's
it is still
true.
very close. Like anyone in like the bottom, I think, any like looking at Rico Mastery and down, where it's like a 3-point difference. I think the 18 feels a little bit safer. I mean, unless you know, of course, you go 8th in the next game. But
Sure.
it's like I feel like 4 is a pretty like, if you just consistent top 4 your next 2, like you feel good. But
Yeah.
having like just a 3-point lead with how close it is between all of those, where it's like okay, you're starting to like get in the questionable territory.
Oh, I agree with you. And I mean, at the end of the day, there isn't, a very big gap between 11 and 18, you know? Anything at all can happen in the next 2 games. There's 16 points to play with potentially. But we will see how that goes. We are going to head to break for a little bit. Before we do that, though, we do have some goodbyes to say.
Yes, this will be my last game for today. It was a pleasure getting to cast along each of you. It's always fun to jump on these co-streams, see how all these pros are doing. get to just pull in a lot of random TFT knowledge that just I'm able to share. So it's like I was like it's always a fun time, getting to watch these pro players, and so I had a blast today. I will be watching alongside the next 2 days. I'll be in Twitch chat trying to catch as many games as I can. So excited to see some more gameplay. Hope to see some more comps that we haven't seen yet. I'm excited we got to see like the Diana. We saw some like MF angles, even if they didn't look good. Like we're seeing some new stuff be pulled out, and not just only Corky Riven by half the lobby. Even though we may have seen a lot of Darkstar, but keeping true to the tournament's namesake, more Darkstar.
More Darkstar.
More
Very
Dark
fair.
Star.
And in the meantime, before we come into the next game here, we are going to take a very quick break, and we will see you all in a few minutes.
Goodbye, all.
Detective will be joining me shortly, but I am here taking a little bit of a look at the lobbies here before we hop into game. We are going to be taking a look into Lobby 2 with Soju, Marcel P, Allegory, Motive, Tartman, Basso Skills, Horrocks, and Wigwag. Personally, I'm pretty excited to see kind of everything that's going to be going on here. I know that we've seen like a, you know, incredible quantity of insane winning boards here. I'm still thinking about that prismatic kind of Dark Star board that we saw earlier on, but it's going to be interesting. We're heading into the last 2 games, so this one will be game 5. Taking a look right now, heading in there. It's gonna be, let's see, a 3-cost random champion this game. So I'm quite curious to see what everybody's gonna be cooking here. There's a lot of 3 costs that I feel are really useful to have early on. You know, to some extent, I kind of feel like there's these, you know, hitting that Misfortune early or hitting that Diana early, giving you kind of a little bit of a direction early on, tends to help. But we'll see what our players are cooking. Wigwag over here does have the Urgot along with a Maokai and even an Ornn on bench and a Lulu, so it seems like it's going to be 3 costs all around. I'm expecting some decently strong stage 2 boards, to say the very least. There's a lot of good options out here for our players. Ooh, I do love Motive's board. I find this arena skin so good. Holding on to some lower cost units here, it seems, for Motive. We've got this Briar pair on the board. We've got a Talon pair as well. Nasus pair, kind of just holding on to all of these duplicate units until we kind of have a little bit more direction. And I am super happy to see that we're starting off with prismatic augments. This is always so much fun for me to see. And I say this every single tourney, every single time that we see this happen. But I really, really feel like because a lot of high elo or pro players don't particularly love prismatic lobbies, because some of it seems to be luck a lot more than, let's say, gold lobbies. I find it, you know, extremely entertaining as a viewer to see kind of what they can do with what's given to them, and they have to work with the fact that they've got some likely incredible buffs, and they kind of just have to make do, essentially. We're gonna keep looking around, take a look at these augments, at these starts. Now, let's see what this item is. Thresh's Lantern. Pulling an extra unit into the fight is for sure going to be a huge buff. Especially in these early rounds where, you know, at this point we have 6 units on the board, which is incredible considering we're at level 4 between the Shepherd and the Lantern. Taking a look at Marcel P over here, we have Shimmer Scale Essence here. So producing a little bit of gold from this Cho'Gath. This is a wonderful kind of econ opener when you feel like your board is not necessarily, you know, guaranteed to be strong enough. You have good opportunity here to kind of just get yourself ahead of the game later on. On the other side, we have Wigwag, fully open board, who seems to be playing Comeback Story, so stacking up on this augment, getting all of these stats per missing player health, playing open here makes total sense. I mean, the more HP you're missing, the stronger your board's gonna get, right? So the question is, how long are you playing open? How long are you committing to that loss streak? So that you can get the most incredible board you can possibly find. On the other hand, taking a little bit of a look at Soju, who seems to be doing the same thing with upward mobility. And Motive down here again with the Meeple emblem. Hello, Invective. Welcome back.
This is some interesting business. We have another Meeple Tactician's Kitchen.
We do. We have a prismatic opener, which I am super happy about, and the encounter was random Brikosh champion. We saw a lot of money kind of rolling around, plenty of boards, in kind of in the planning phases.
Well, I was just getting my bearings.
You're
like
totally
this kale
fine.
one.
Me personally, I'm just a sucker for the thresh. These randomizers really call my name every time I see them in ladder. While it may not be the best choice, it is the funnest. Haha.
Hey, I agree with you, but here's the thing. Sometimes Thresh gives you Thresh.
That is true.
And to me, that feels like I've been cheated of something.
Yeah.
In fact, I haven't been cheated of anything. But I feel like it.
Yeah, no, that's not understandable completely.
I was paying for something else, but in fact, I got what I paid for.
It seems quite unfortunate. For a small recap, we did have Wigwag and Soju for the first 3 rounds playing full open over here. Wigwag with a comeback story. I'm trying to see, how far we're gonna take this loss streak and how much HP we're gonna be comfortable getting to.
Did they tie?
I don't believe they fought each other.
Streak. They both have 0 streaks.
Oh, they must have
tied. They were
tied
both full open and they fought each other. Did they both have their streak snapped?
I believe so.
I feel like that's what must have happened.
That's correct. Yes, lost against K3 Soju, and on Soju's side, lost against Wigwag. They did tie, which is quite unfortunate.
I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's funny. I feel like I very rarely see people willing to do that in tournament, but they both looked each other in the eye and said, "Nah, you're the one who should blink first." And then the game called it. The game said you both blinked. We don't accept this loss streak business the way we used to. This full open business. You both lose your streaks.
I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with that. What, sorry?
The Stargazer?
The Stargazer is currently the altar. I'm definitely seeing, like, certain people kind of, considering it, especially Tartman with the spat here and having the, all of these TF copies. We are sitting on 5 TFs. I'm not sure if it's enough to convince you to play the altar.
I mean, I think, like, the tough thing about having a Stargazer emblem some of the time is when the Stargazer is just, like, 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
So many of the Stargazer boards are already constructed around, you play Jax, you play Nunu, you play Zion.
Right.
Or you play whatever your 3 Stargazers are.
Sure.
And I do think it takes a little bit of work, not necessarily a lot of work, but a little bit, to get to the point where you are making the most value out of the Stargazer emblem in the first place.
I think I might be tempted in this spot if this anvil contained a belt for the sake of Nashers. A little bit. A little bit like this.
I feel like we're past it. I feel like we're playing some Zaya.
I guess we are. I mean, we have leveled, and there's a Quirky in our shop, which is a little bit concerning for the rest of the lobby.
I would really have liked to see Tartman play around the Corki this round.
Yeah, agreed.
It strikes me as being a little stronger than the Misfortune.
Yep.
But what do I know? This Conduit looked kind of good.
I mean, Conduit's great, but also we'd still slot the Fate Weaver in. There is the upgrade on the TF. We do have decent items for the Corki. I probably would have chosen to play the Corki regardless.
I guess my concern is just that, like, this Kraken Slam isn't very strong on either of these temporary carries.
Yeah.
And then I also just don't love the Giant Slayer. I don't love the Giant Slayer because it kills your next two best items, one of which is Red Buff, one of which is Last Whisper. Yeah. If you are... Like, are you playing Aatrox in this situation? Maybe, maybe not. But, like, maybe you don't need the Last Whisper, but then you still want the Red Buff.
That's true.
Oh, two more anvils. We could take a Sunfire if we're committed to not playing around Red Buff, but we don't. And we do take the bow.
I don't mind
we're getting
this. We're getting a little bit of a mix in our items, making sure that we do have some tank items as well on the board. I like slotting the Quirky in here, selling the Misfortune to make some money.
Motive has a crazy Meeple board for stage 3. Motive has Gnar 2 plus Rammus?
Okay.
This is so intimidating to play against. And because you have
Briar
the Rammus.
too with the emblem too.
Yeah, if you have the Rammus, it means you have a pretty decent chance of hitting 7 Meeple pretty early.
Yeah, that's very true. We might be printing today. I do want to take a look at Basso Skills, who has 100 streaking so far with this LeBlanc, Karma, and Morgana, and Nunu. Okay.
Wow!
Is this luxury sub? Alright, subscription service, sorry. But
All
yes,
right.
okay. That makes a lot more sense. I was very concerned for a second. I was like, that's a lot of forecasts.
It's almost frustrating. You can't really justify playing the Nunu right here.
No. Although, what I do like is that we are sitting on 2 4-cost pairs, so there's a very decent chance that, we're gonna open stage 4 with a 2-star 4-cost, and these items are somewhat flexible.
Yeah, big problem though. Win streak might come to an end. We're fighting against this Teemo who's just blown up in an instant.
Yup! Make that 30 gold? Hell yeah.
I can't get anything right, Domino.
You got everything right. What do you mean? It's Opposites Day, right?
I haven't called a fight, right? I would love the mystery loot here for Basso's skill.
But we are opting to side with the Kale immediately.
Oh, are we?
For Basso Skills, yeah.
Oh, right, he has the blue orb. Okay. That means he selected the option where you're going to make an item and then you're going to get one of the components back.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one you'd like less to see.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'm sure we were hoping for the rod there, but we'll take what we can get. Extra components always good.
Just call me crazy, but like, I personally feel like in a situation where you took an Econ Augment
Mm-hmm.
and then you took an augment that specifically, like, it gets a little bit worse. It doesn't get really that much worse. You're not losing so much value, but you get a little bit less value when you start to make more items.
That's true. I mean, unless you're still making them on the same units, right?
Yeah, but like, it's not that bad in truth, but it feels a little bad in my head.
Yeah.
And I,
It's kind of based off
I
impression,
really,
right?
like, to me, it just feels like the Kale boon is ultimately not the strongest boon, but maybe Basso's skills is his line of reasoning is if I get to slam an item and I get a little bit more value out of my items right now, like that basically just means, hey, I get to keep win streaking.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think if you're not, fully win streaking here, you maybe don't take the kill boon. But knowing that you are win streaking and wanting to preserve this as much as possible, it doesn't necessarily make sense, to take a random boon that could maybe be, detrimental.
Yeah, I guess one interesting question I feel like I could have maybe ask you,
Yeah.
is like, what percentage of the results when you take mystery loot are better than average, or like
That's a good point.
are better than taking an extra component?
Yeah. Because an extra component always makes sense, right? There's never really a reason not to take a component. Component to component.
Component is component.
I mean, it's true, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm waiting before we move on from Bossos to see what this subscription service is gonna be. I'm quite curious.
It's never satisfied me.
Oh, really?
Honestly, it never gives me something that I need. Like a Morgana 2 is nice.
It's quite
I'm not gonna say it's bad,
Uh-uh.
but if we don't have Karma, we don't have LeBlanc.
We are level 7 ahead of the curve, though. Which is
Yes,
quite nice.
but
There's decent chances of, hitting early on regardless.
yeah. And certainly it feels bad to fight someone who just hit a Morgana 2 when you are level 7.
Yeah,
Not yet rolling them for Corki.
but
And
not too far.
something that really scares me for Allegory
Yep.
is that they're going to have a lot of actions to do next turn. I would love to see how they handle it, because
We'll take a look for
assuming,
sure, yeah.
like, okay, it would be good for them to lose this fight, actually. If they lose this fight, then they cash out their Forged in Strength on the same turn as they're rolling down. So, like, if something crazy happens, they can adjust, but it's a lot of actions.
Let's take a look at Allegory then. Got another prismatic here.
Oh, sweet treats.
Ooh,
Let's
sweet treats. Okay.
add some
Got
more.
this roll
Let's add
down.
some-
Rammus 2. Fiora on bench. This isn't bad.
I'm assuming there's some artifacts on the way. Are there
There's-
not any artifacts on the way? They're like invisible.
Are they?
Are
We
they?
have sweet treats.
Wait, could you hover over Fortune Strength? Maybe I'm wrong about the HP
No,
total?
it's when you drop below 35. We are 37
Oh,
HP.
they
So we're
changed the
not
number.
quite there yet. One more fight.
That is tough. I just say everything's tough. It's tough if we win, it's tough if we lose. Oh, I don't have my artifacts yet. Oh, I have too much stuff to do in a turn.
It's a hard game. What can I say? This fight looks kind of perfect for a good loss, though. I will say that.
Yeah. I think Horo X has a cool spot with this Varys' obsession with Wong.
Yeah, agreed. take a look at these artifacts coming in for Allegory, though.
Oh.
Okay.
We have no reforgers. Oh, these are really good if we hit. But we don't have a single Corki.
Nope, but we have Riven too.
Do have Riven too.
Screw it, sell Jinx, buy Riven, roll once.
Wow, that would be really bold.
These two.
I like
the
the
Ludens
decision.
and the Blighting Jewel is not the greatest, though.
I will say, people really have a fondness for Melio. I think that he's a unit who punches above his weight in terms of damage right now by a significant margin.
Yeah.
But one thing I am really concerned about is that Allegory doesn't have a Melio 2. Allegory has a Melio 1.
This is
Melio
not
1
the
is
same.
not Melio 2. Yeah.
I think, you know, Milio's great in terms of, like, damage spread, but I think it's okay to move on, you know?
Yeah. I can agree with that.
I'm starting to get scared for Allegory as well. 17 HP on 4/4 is starting to get very, very spooky.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It might be time for that guy to move on from this game.
Oh!
We don't have any Corkies.
We need to find that Corki, man. Even
That's-
better, get the Corki and a bar. Okay, we get the Corki. Cool, great, wonderful, amazing.
It's not the worst. I think at this point you might be willing to move the... Are you willing to move Silvermere? I think part of the real concern is that Silvermere is really good on Corki when you have a blue buff, but you don't have a blue buff.
But you don't have a blue
But if
buff.
you-
I don't think I moved Silvermere here.
But if you were to move Silvermere off of Rammus, replace it with a Sunfire, and then if you were to put that on Corki, and then you could put the fish bones on Riven, I feel like that's appealing to me. It gives her a lot of stat boost.
Riven's
Damage
fishbone.
quite a lot.
Okay. I hadn't considered that. I like that.
But I mean, we're gonna have to survive this fight in order to make any such decisions. And Fiora's found our Corki. Is Corki gonna be able to strafe? Well, he doesn't, but Melio helps him out.
Surviving. That is a Kindred too, with some very nice items. It's just enough. Oh my goodness. Let's take a look at Marcel P over here, who is also on, you know, almost one life.
Marcel P is having
We're-
a big roll down.
Oh, 25 rolls, by the way. Just saying.
25 rolls, late game specialist. All of the money that we generated
All right.
from our artifacts. We've already reforged them. We have Yasuo's blade work and we have the flicker blades. This would be really ideal if we hit the board. We need to stabilize sooner rather than later, and we are hitting a lot of value.
Oh.
We don't have Vex 2 this turn. And it's gonna come back to bite us. Up against this Corki, it just might.
This is definitely a scary fight. I mean, we hit a lot of units, but I don't think we hit the right 2 stars.
We just can't even make a single dent in this Rammus. Here's the
No,
thing.
Look at him.
We'll live. We'll live.
Oh, Oof. Barely.
But it's not going to be by a lot.
No.
In fact, it's going to be by exactly 1. I like this.
I do like this,
Rage
yeah.
PTT.
We need some units now. That's the... Okay, Graves too.
Graves 2 so good. Jin 2, I don't know how to feel
I don't
about
think
this
I
one.
make
feel like-
this. Yeah, no.
but are we going to be punished for not making him?
Probably. Oh! Fiora too? Can we make that? Sell the Shen?
Yup, Soul
Yep.
Shen.
Now, it's a shame that we still can't get a hold of Vex too, but... We take what we can, right?
I think we will have to take what we can.
Now, where
Marcel
does
did
this-
not look at what that Thieves' Gloves was. That Thieves' Gloves could have been any items. He just randomed it onto the Graves.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
ooh!
Oh! Okay.
Is that gonna be enough?
It might be.
It just takes one bad fight, though.
It does. Who does this blade work even go on? Like, Shen?
Well,
for
I know
giggles?
it's not the... Yeah, it should be the Shen. Shen does have that mechanic.
It
Well,
goes
right now
on-
it is going on the Blitzcrank.
It is not. I don't hate it either.
I want to say that Blitzcrank is, like, clearly the better unit. And
Yeah.
maybe it's true that Blitzcrank is the next unit that you're going to itemize. But I really, like, to me, I actually doubt that. To me, I think the best thing for Marcel to do would be to have a guaranteed tank.
Yeah, that's definitely what the
And-
board's lacking.
And if you take any item, like, I would love a Warmox. I would love a, like, I'm really thinking of Warmox.
Yeah.
But I would prefer, and maybe this is wrong, maybe this is just me, and I'm bad at this game. But if I had a choice between a Shen 2 and a Blitzcrank 2 right now, I might pick the Shen. He's more of a tank than he used to be.
That is true, because I was about to say, like, Shen isn't, you know, that much of a tank either. He is also, somewhat damage-oriented. But much more than the Blitzcrank, that's for sure.
I'm scared of the enemy Master Yi. I feel like even though his
Yeah.
items are not ideal, it's a tough position. Now we've got the Tom Kench on the Vex. It's a little bit scuffed. Vex needs to live.
She's living.
She's living.
We're taking crazy heals. I'm not sure what it's from, I'll be very honest with you.
And we're alive.
We are. I did just see a Blitzcrank in the shop very quickly. Yeah.
This is the sad part about what is this called? The shop. It's not called Shopping Spree. That was the different one.
Commerce Core.
Commerce Core. Yeah, I mean, like, this is the sad thing about Commerce Core. You don't have any gold, so it doesn't make any sense to use the. It makes no sense to use the rolls. But you would die with. If you died right now, you would die with 6 rolls.
Now, what I'm confused about is where is this Vex getting this healing from? Because last fight I was seeing, you know, the green plus HP on this Vex. See, 22, 23, 23. Is this just the Vex ability?
I would say that, like, it might be a tiny amount of Omnivamp because this board has Marauder on it.
Oh, I didn't realize Marauder affects team. Yes, okay. Thank you. I was really looking for this list of that, and I couldn't quite wrap my head around it. Oh, it looks like Allegory and Bosso skills are down. Look at the HP difference between top 2 and the rest of lobby.
It's really tough for Bosso and Allegory, by the way.
Yeah, it really is.
At least Bosso is 1 above Allegory,
Makes a difference
and Allegory is
every
2
point.
points below Bosso. But the really tough thing about it is Allegory was probably in that, like, bottom 16, and, like, now your last game needs to be so good in order to save this.
Yeah.
Every level
Allegory was sitting in the bottom 16, and then Bosso skills a little bit higher than that.
Wait, can Soju defeat Marcel?
Marcel's dead.
Marcel's dead.
See?
It's another top 4 for Soju.
That's another top 4 for Soju. We take those. Soju, who is currently sitting at 2nd place.
I mean, I
Cartman
came
currently
in.
on a 5-win streak. Look at these units, though. Oh my lord.
I came in asking, is Soju motivated? Is he
I
in
remember
form?
that. Is Soju in form?
He might be. He
I
might very
think-
well be.
There's a decent chance. Didn't Soju get away
Well,
with last tournament or something?
Yeah, Seju won the last tournament.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Well, like my concern was like if he won the last tournament, he qualifies to Worlds.
right, so
Not
maybe
just
there
regions,
isn't
to World.
necessarily as much motivation to continue to perform. Look at this.
Yeah,
Saya.
but
Ooh,
I'm pleasantly surprised.
yeah.
Not like truly surprised. Just pleasantly
Just
surprised.
this is nice.
I like to see Soju succeed. He also makes it very fun to see him fail. So like it's a
Oh.
win-win. That's why everybody loves him.
You
right?
can love watch, you can hate watch, you can hype watch. It's everything's valid.
The best part is these are all the same people.
Yeah.
I do watch Soju for all of those reasons.
Ooh, Tartman here. Didn't make it to level 10.
Oh, that's just
Oh.
component. Are we in a loot sub? Where'd the component come from?
Thresh, right?
Thresh's boon. Okay, sorry.
Rolling as 6
It-
gets you a component, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know why I like blanked on what just happened on the screen. The dice roll
Yeah,
and then the drop.
it's because we don't see the dice actually roll on the spectate screen. That's why.
Well, look at Horo X. Horo X got into a position to play the Vex as well. It was probably after Marcel died that he was able to transition into this board. But it looks really strong. The frontline artifacts were very powerful. The Void Gauntlet doing that extra bit of damage at the end. And if you look, the Vex is doing so much more damage than you see on some of these other boards. This scaling power is really there.
Take a look at Woodward here, who's gonna be fighting Horo X. I mean, while this board is scary, and if I see this on ladder, I'm like, damn, I need to hit right now. Considering these Vex boards that we're seeing and such, I don't know if this cuts it.
Yeah, the other thing is, if you are trying to maximize this group hug value, your movements are a little bit telegraphed.
Yeah.
Vex is going to be on the opposite side. I feel like this is what Horo X wants, but is it going to be enough? They're getting access to the back lane.
I lied. Very much so. Holy.
Wigwag had a really good wrap.
X down. It's Tartman v Wigwag. Wigwag is on the 5-win streak now. Let's see what Tartman can do to get past this.
Wigwag has defeated, I think, every single player who tries to play this Fast 9 board, or this Vex board.
I just
Don't-
saw 2 bards in Tartman's shop, and I was like, please sell, please play Bard 3. That'd be hilarious.
I think Wigwag is kind of looking like the Grim Reaper.
I agree.
And in this fight, I'm a little scared, right? This Master Yi is so close to going onto our Xayah. Our Nunu has to stay strong, stay in that front line. But both of... Whoa, but now we have a chance to hit the Master Yi.
Oh, Master Yi's down. That's it for Tartman. Wow.
That's so interesting.
Okay.
I feel like I wouldn't expect that Xayah seems to have this advantage into Master Yi. At least in that one fight, that one matchup that we saw. And then compared to all of these Fast 9 Vex boards, that maybe they take too long. Maybe the damage is too spread out. But they're not dealing with Wigwag's board.
I see exactly what you mean. I have the standings open currently. They're not fully updated, of course. It is taking some time. But that was an incredible game all around.
Yeah, and here's what we know. Tartman had the lowest points at 12, but he gets up to 20.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he still has to play game 6, but it's a lot better looking than it was before.
Yeah. Speaking of Game 6, if we want to take a quick look at the lobbies here, we do have the opportunity to choose any lobby that we should so desire. Is there anything that you'd particularly like to see for Game 6?
Well,
Well,
I don't have any problem with staying right where we are. But, I mean, it looks like there's a party going on in Lobby 3. There are so many other
ooh.
co-streamers in there. I feel a little bit of FOMO.
A little bit of FOMO? I will happily take us to Lobby 3.
Okay, I'm in.
Let's do that. In the meantime, though, while Lobby 3 is getting ready for all of us, we are going to take a quick break. But we'll be back with some wonderful gameplay for our last game of the day.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you, Domino. See you guys soon.
See you soon.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Game 6 of the Darkstar Cup. I'm Invective. I'm joined by the wonderful Domino, who has been producing this entire time as well as casting. Um, we have Lobby 3 for our final game.
Yes.
And Lobby 3 is looking like a party. There's so many other co-streamers in it. That's why we wanted to see what was going on, what was the hype all about, and we're in the game with the Howling Abyss.
Absolutely. I do love getting all of these one-cost champions on the bench, getting not only all that free money, but all of these options. Um, I feel like this just opens a ton of doors for you when you're kind of trying to figure out what to play early, what your stage 2 is going to look like.
I am not particularly happy with this selection of one costs.
Yeah.
And I feel like to me that's reflected a little bit by Enzo, because Enzo just selected 2 units he does not have a pair of.
Yeah. But good units.
Very
I'll
good
say
units.
And seeming to land some more. Making sure to get a hold of this Caitlyn as well. Let's take a look
We
elsewhere.
do have more of an AP direction on that board. Yeah, we have Arbiter already, and I would... Well, if we're not playing it, is it still something that we want to get value out of later? Could we have a hover over the Arbiter for David Ace?
Absolutely.
See if he's selected?
Arbiter is no longer on the board. That is
Okay.
not terrible.
It looks like a decent LeBlanc spot if that's what he ultimately ends up playing. It's not like my favorite thing ever, but you don't have to keep those units around anymore.
That is true, but it is yet again an open door that we will be going on with silver augments.
What really strikes me as interesting is David Ace is not playing for a win streak here, but we are taking Carve a Path. And to me that says we think that this particular item augment is broken. I know that we've said earlier today, David Ace is playing Corki. This game, he's playing Corki. he's committed.
This is not,
These are Corki
not a
items.
surprise for us.
But I will also say, like, this sword cash out could happen a little bit later than we want it to. Just because we're doing this from a loss streak.
You're not wrong. There's a lot of options here. I mean, just having, you know, the 3 Timebreaker off rip is never going to be a bad thing.
No, it's a really good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Taking a look. Let's see what Michael is up to. We haven't seen Michael all day.
Michael hasn't had the best day,
That is true.
but I don't think he's had the worst day either. This opener, though, feels awkward. Feels like we're a little, like a few units shy of having a coherent board, and the Akali really gives me pause, because she's not the best actual 2-cost carry ever. If you were to slam a Bloodthirster on her right now, just because you got her from Kickstart, you wouldn't be that happy.
No, that is true.
I feel like she would end up carrying you for about as long as a 1-cost would carry you. And that's the real trouble of it.
I mean, this whole kind of opener seems pretty, patchwork, I think would be the word I'd go for.
Yeah. And ultimately I feel like, you know, if we take a peek at Michael's Psionic, maybe we might have some insight into whether he's inclined to play Master Yi.
Now, I'm not sure, let's see. I'm not sure I'm able to take a look at his Psionic right this second, considering we don't have any on the board.
Rats.
Rats.
You're so right.
I can open the team planner, but I'm not going to do that. Or maybe I should. Let's see. New. Gragas, Psionic,
Sympathetic.
Sympathetic, and Biomatter Preserver.
Yeah, that's not gonna be it.
No, that's not the road. That is not the path to redemption.
Well, the best thing for Michael would be to just teleport to level 9 and have Graves. I think if we got there, I wouldn't be so mad.
That is true. I do think there should be a teleport augment. Absolutely.
Yep. Teleport to win the game, teleport to level 9.
All of the good things.
I think that there should be a button that you can press when you take an augment like Forged in Strength and you're 36 HP, you should be able to press a button that gets you to 35.
I tend to agree with you.
It feels really bad to have that breakpoint be like just a little bit out of your control. I know that's part of how it's balanced. I know that it feels really good when you get to 35 perfectly. And you're like, I'm so smart.
I'm so smart.
I did
this is
that.
great.
But the reality is that a lot of the time you didn't do that. A lot of the time you were sort of like at the whims of your matchmaking, and you had to take maybe a tiny gamble that in 1 out of 3 worlds you maybe get to 35 perfectly. Strikes me as being like a little bit too out of your control.
Yeah.
And here we are. Is Michael playing Master Yi for reals? I feel like
Let's
the
go back.
Giant Slayer Slam.
Oh, the Giant Slayer Slam might be interesting. Okay. Sure, why not? I
Yes,
guess.
screw it.
But the sympathetic implant, really? Are we sure about that one?
I mean, maybe we're just so far ahead.
Maybe. I did want to look. I was. Oh. Never mind.
Oh.
Raikou Mastery seems to have disconnected. We will take a second and wait and see if they reconnect very quickly. If not, we'll take some times and take some looks potentially at standings or at some. Maybe we should take a look at some of our players in the meantime.
That would be wonderful.
That would be wonderful if I had their player overviews for anybody in this lobby. Popping up the standings here. They have refreshed, of course, since Game 5, while we wait for this game to unpause. I'm trying to take a look particularly at the bottom tier currently. What do they need to save themselves? And who do we want to save? Obviously, I'm a big Basso skills enjoyer, and if you haven't seen the interview, you should totally go look at the interview because it was an amazing interview, and he's super nice. But that 2 points on Game 5 hurts. Hurts a lot.
Yeah. He's right on the boundary
cusp,
there.
yeah.
And then there's Chargeman.
Yeah.
Judging by the snake seating, they should be in the same lobby together.
This is something I can find out, that's for sure. Looking at the other lobbies over here.
Oh no, because this is after Game 5, so no, they're not seated based on this one.
Oh, that is true. Currently though, for reference, I'll say Tartman and Bassos are in the same lobby. They are in lobby 2 with Soju, Marcel P, Wigwug, Horox, Allegory, and Motive, which is the lobby that we saw last game.
Yeah, okay.
Right, yeah.
I think Voman Death can't be saved. I think it is over.
Yeah, I think unfortunately taking both of those 8ths with the 7th right in front, you can't do, and mathematically it doesn't work either. You can get to 21, but even then, because it's 15 and not 14 for ready.
Yeah. And then just out of curiosity, how is it that Lococo and Me First or Eighth don't have their scores in yet? Could you refresh one more time?
Absolutely. I will. Let's see. Give me a split second. There we go. Fully updated.
So Me First or Eighth is a little bit more safe than he seemed.
Yeah.
And Lococo is still at the top.
Yep.
It goes Lococo and then
David is
9 Americas players.
Lococo right now really feels like
Yes.
Last Stand, kind of that one guy in front of the horde, you know?
Yeah. No, this is like, hey, it sucks that that Lococo is at the very front, but if you look at the odds, the Americas players seem to be doing a little bit better on average.
Oh yeah.
And if that means that we get an All Americas final lobby with the exception of Lococo, that would be a really interesting dynamic to watch.
That would be very interesting, and I think I'm sorry to say this, as I know that we are Americas, but at heart, I am an EMEA individual, and I grew up in an EMEA, and if it is going to be a final lobby full of Americas plus Lococo, I got you, Lococo. You got this.
Domino, you're entitled to your opinion, but I didn't know that. I didn't know that about you.
I am a European. Guilty and cannot lie.
I mean, hey, I love to have a little rivalry going on.
Absolutely. Oh, quick update. Reiko Mastery seems to have reconnected finally. Thankfully, we are doing ready checks currently with the rest of the players. So we should be loading back into game right where we left off very, very shortly.
I would love to see that. Let's get back in there.
Yeah. Sitting on this pause screen while I'm looking at, what am I looking at? I'm looking at Rego Mastery, actually, specifically, who's got some nice units to buy.
Do you think a pause would mess you up in tournament?
No. I actually would love it, I think. I think being able to turn away from my game and from my monitor for like a round and a half lets me come back and look at my spot without necessarily having as much influence from what I originally thought I was going to be playing.
I think that's a great thing. I think that's a great advantage to have as a player.
Yeah.
You know, just being able to make the most out of your situation. That ain't me. It's not something I do. When I'm playing in a tournament, I sit there listening to one song on repeat, completely tweaking, and if anything goes wrong, I start freaking out. Yep, that's the way it is. We can see a few messages from our lovely administrators of the TPC managing this disconnect.
Love them for managing all of the everything.
Yes, that's how I would put it too.
Honestly, I'll be very honest and direct. It takes much work and effort from everybody at Gal to manage Gal only that I cannot imagine how these people be doing it for the entirety of Riot and all of these pro players. They're doing an incredible job.
Yeah, agreed. Enzo and Michael are both on a win streak. It looks a little funny that they're on 94 HP. I have to imagine they took Evelyn's boon.
They sure did. Blood Pact.
It was the Blood Pact.
Yep.
Oh.
We do love spotting Evelyn in our games. It's always a good amount of spice to add.
I think Evelyn might be my favorite god. I think she's
Oh,
just
hot
fun to
take.
play around. Like I've been saved by Soraka once or twice, but I think it's much more fun to trade a little bit of your life away than it is to just like have the relief of having some of it back.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think there's so
And then,
many fun things that you can do with the different Evelyn buffs. And if you can
yeah.
afford them, it feels like a waste not to take them most of the time.
And then of all the boons that the gods offer, 10% durability, if that is what it is, I believe that's the number. Even at the cost of losing a little bit more HP when you lose a fight, 10% durability is a lot. I feel like it's maybe more impactful than any other god boon.
I think, let me see, I've forgotten which. Soraka is the other god here. And I will say that Soraka is like a very comfortable choice for a lot of players because there really is no downsides to clicking on the Soraka boons, right? They just might not be quite as strong as other things that you can click.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Michael, um, Akali's done. She's no longer doing anything for us. That's about it. And as soon as we lost our streak, we went all in. We have Nova and Timebreaker, and maybe that means that we get to play Corki!
Oh my
Wow! A
god.
Riven, a Remus, a Fizz, a Gnar, 3
What
Timebreaker,
is
4
this?
Timebreaker activated. Wow!
Three. Oh wait, no,
Oh,
Spat.
we have the 4th
I'm so
Timebreaker on.
sorry.
Yeah.
Ignore me.
No apologies necessary, Domino. But nonetheless, I feel like we might not have enough swords to do this exactly the way that we want to.
This looks super strong, and I love that we have this keep DPS to play around here on stage 3. I mean, this is what Cosmic Restart is for, you know?
Yep.
Yep.
We did something, we're tired of it, it's time to do something new. I like it a lot as well. I certainly haven't seen like 2 shops in a row that are that good. Wow, there's more good stuff here.
Oh, the mighty mech.
I mean, the thing is, like, you might not be committed necessarily to playing Corki. I feel like this is a spot where you could teleport to level 9. It's worth considering, because if we don't have that many swords, maybe it's right not to buy the Mighty Mech, the Meepsy. Maybe it's right to just slam these items on Riven, and this is going to be a Graves.
That could just be it. Absolutely.
And we're so rich. We're going to be level 7 to 50 gold on 3-5. And if we win rounds, we get 2 more gold a round. This is some good stuff. This is some interesting TFT.
Let's see, what do I want to look at? What do you want to look at now that we're going on to a different stage?
I want to see how many people selected an emblem and what they got.
We can run around here on the first round on planning phase and take a quick look. Evelyn.
Well, this is... Oh. The Blessing Prosperity.
Prosperity Plus. Prosperity Plus. Here we have our emblem.
That's an Arbiter emblem. That one seems a little less useful.
Yeah, this is emblem is
Oh, Robin's playing...
Bruiser. I don't mind this.
Robin is playing Expedition. I feel like it still wants to be Corgi.
Yeah, it's got the Meeple emblem on the wrong board for Quintanilla. Over here we
Wow, I really dislike the Prosperity Plus here. Rico has to be really, like, for this to have value, and I'm not saying it has to have value, but for this to have value, I think Rico Mastery needs to stay above 50 gold, or stay like at a real interest interval for a little while. Like, we're not putting it on the Rek'Sai right now. That should be obvious. But are you willing to put it on the Mighty Mech? Or are you dead set on putting this on Rammus? And if you put it on Rammus, is it going to make a difference when you're 10 gold and you make...
Oh,
Yeah,
there it
there
goes.
that is. Well, the quirky players are lining up.
There seems to be quite a few of them in this game as well.
I want to... I don't know who I want to watch do their quirky roll down, but I think that it could also be worth taking a peek at David Ace's spot right now.
Yeah,
See
absolutely.
whether he has a lot of econ going into 4-2, because we saw at the beginning of the game, right? He was 3 timebreaker from the jump,
And never
but
went to the
we might be
primary
playing
yet,
Master
so
Yi.
it certainly looks like it. I think maybe, taking that random emblem and landing on the challenger might have helped with that decision.
Well, the kindred and the 2 kindreds that Tom Kench, all the bruisers, might have also helped with that decision.
That too. Good point.
This is one of those spots where, like, I feel like the game's just telling you, yeah, you wanted to play Corky, now you have to play Master Yi.
Kind of just like forcible transition.
We support transition here at Gal.
Yes, we do.
But this anvil kind of sucks. I don't love this.
Yeah, I'm staring at this and I've been like trying to say something and I'm just like, oh man.
I think you take a Morello there. Oh, it's like the same one.
Ew. God.
Take it.
Jeez.
Take a sword? Oh, interesting. Maybe that's a Hodge? Nope. Well, what's the rod gonna be?
Yeah, I'm not. Are we just putting the sword there and holding on to this till we get something better? Hoping for an item augment, perhaps?
Maybe so. Well, I think we see some good stuff already.
Oh, absolutely.
Baron's Lair, maybe not as good as Tiny but Deadly, but we take the cult to Chaos.
I like this.
And it looks like we got a lot of random components. Would that be correct?
Absolutely. 6 unique components. That is quite a bit of components. And this is
Oh, I
also
want to look.
gonna make
I want to know what David Ace is still looking for. I feel like David Ace is rolling really deep. He's rolling for 4 Marauder. That makes sense to me.
Yeah,
We
I can
have
see
the Edge
that.
of Night. That's really the thing that gets the gears turning here.
I think we were potentially just kind of rolling deeper Fiora if we got lucky.
Okay. I see what you're saying. I will say that this item situation does not spark joy in me. The Sterix is starting to make sense.
Yeah, I can see that. Oh, I heard a question mark thing go out over here. That is Gen 2
Wow.
with a Radiant DB. Okay, sure. Sure thing. I believe that.
Robin Songs is just... Sometimes he gets stuff going.
Yeah, this is going.
This is so interesting. This is unlike any other board that anybody's played today.
I mean, not hitting, Rammus to Zaya to Riven to Corki to none of it, but Gen 2. Sure, sure. No worries.
You gotta make something out of your situation.
That's true.
I guess my concern is that like I have no idea how strong this board is, and if Robin doesn't know how strong the board is, it's hard to make like a fully informed decision, right? Like normally Robin would be great at knowing I'm strong enough to go to level 9
Yeah.
or I must keep rolling. But now there's a little bit of uncertainty because
Everything seems
how
to be
many
a little
times
bit
have you had
optimized.
this board?
Yeah. It's just kind of
It's a little
very slightly
unoptimized.
good
You don't
enough.
really know. Yeah. That said, the synergies still look fine to me. What did we take? Robin did choose Evelyn, I think.
That is correct. Lost a little bit more HP, gain a completed item.
Anti-heal! Let's go!
I mean, hey, we were talking about optimizing. There it goes.
And we are still rolling. But we're rolling away from Corky. No longer satisfied with Meeples.
I think we'll be slowly inching away. I think also getting a, a handle on how many players are holding onto these ribbons and onto these Porkies. Since we have the Gen 2 anyways, why not lock in for these Zayas?
Yeah. What's the other rogue we're playing? We're playing Kaisa. Okay. It's starting to make sense in my head.
It's coming together.
I think Robin really wants to hit these 2 4-cost upgrades.
Yeah.
And sees this as sort of like a do or die situation because so many people seem to be playing Corky. If your board requires you to be stable on 2-star frontline, 2-star duo carry, of course you should keep rolling for these 2. But we'll see if he exercises a little bit of restraint this round going into the Treasure Dragon.
I do want to take a look at Delson here hitting the very many 3-stars.
But not Lulu.
Not Lulu, not Pantheon.
Seems like this could become really difficult.
Yes. We are poor, we are level 6. We are fairly far from the Lulu.
I'm learning something today about the mountain. What I learned is that I don't think you really need to go to level 7 to play around Lulu when you have the mountain. Because normally you would need to have 3 Stargazers to play, and Twisted Fate, who's currently on the bench, would need to be on the board. But if you're playing the mountain, you do have a way of getting more Stargazers than normal. So you don't need to rush.
It's doable. Honestly, this 30 gold boon, I do not hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a reason he's looking at it for so long. There's a reason he
Exactly.
takes it. Just
No, I
in
really
time
don't
to
hate
find
this, yeah.
no Lulus.
Yeah, this is painful. This is one of those, like, you're playing this game and you're like, what in the world?
To me, it's over aggressive. I don't wanna belabor that point because I think he's probably a better player than I am. But I would say that rolling in that position just strikes me as it's really unlikely that you're gonna hit the Lulu. And yes, hitting the Pantheon's important, but hitting the Lulu is how you really meaningfully increase your placement this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whoa. Dude, this Michael guy hit Graves 2 on 8.
Holy. He sure did.
Yeah, something I would love to see this set is for Michael to be able to go back to Worlds. I feel like last set he had a frustrating situation where um I think he was like very much on the cusp of almost every opportunity to qualify to go to Worlds.
Mm,
Like
I see what you mean.
in the TPC, Weijin kept winning the tournaments, but he's sort of like the person who consistently went second place. And then at regionals, I believe he was like a few cuts away from making that final lobby, where almost everybody just gets to go to Worlds.
Yeah.
I feel like as a spectator, I imagine that to be really frustrating.
Oh, for
So
sure. It's like
I'm
you're
cheering for
barely
him this
grazing
set.
the goal, and it feels like it gets taken away. You know.
Yeah. Well, we do have David Ace playing for his life. You know, he has a lot of points.
Yep.
His tournament life is not in jeopardy from this one game. But the longer he survives, and he outplaces Quintanilla, he outplaces Robin Songs, it still improves his chances for tomorrow. Because
For sure.
tomorrow, the top 4 players, then the top 8 players, those players are going to be qualifying for the final lobby ahead of time. That makes a world of difference.
Yeah, I mean, you want to get yourself into a spot where you don't have to play quite as many games, and it's not about not wanting to play more. It's about having less opportunity to lose.
Yeah, anything can happen, right?
Yeah, the further ahead you get, the better things are.
So let's see how that all goes. I mean, David Ace's mastery is in a very good position.
That positioning was incredible. That's just nasty.
This has to be one of the first times I see the malware matrix on the Urgot. I also believe that today I've seen it played a lot on the Kindred. It's interesting to me that people's consensus among this pro tier seems to be moving away from putting this item on Master Yi.
Which I find kind of interesting because I've always felt like if you have this matrix, you want to give it to Yi, right? Then again, I don't see this item combination as being bad at all, and I feel like you do get more value out of this DB by having it on Yi than on the Urgot.
Yeah, I think it's coming together for me like that as well. David looks to be playing for some kind of wrap for Mastery on the left side, but the way that Pantheon walked up, at least in this fight, that's not going to happen. Master Yi is sort of in the line of fire where Lulu and Melio are raining all of these missiles upon him. And this front line's not penetrable.
Ooh, Reiko Mastery on 1 HP. 1 HP and a Dream, making it to top 4 here. We do have all of our units upgraded. I mean, apart from Melio and Poppy, but do we care? What's next?
These quirky players, I say, as if everybody in the tournament is not playing quirky.
Yeah.
They're all quirky players, actually.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see when I get back on the stream tomorrow for day 2, you know, to have the statistics of the most played comps and see just how high Corky's going to be.
Yeah. I think that this Graves build, by the way, well, not this specific Graves build with the Shojin Last Whisper,
Yeah.
but having this Graves like frame, the one where he gets precision and his spell ends up getting buffs. This to me is like actually really compelling. I like to watch it a lot more than I like to watch the other ones. I think this one's really cool, and I hope Peepoglad does well in this lobby. Well, he's top 2, so.
Yeah, we take those. That Leona really just survived by like the skin on her knees.
She's definitely really strong. I'd love an HP check. she is the one who received the blessing of prosperity, so she's been gaining HP throughout the game, with the interest that Peepoglad does have a chance to make.
She is currently sitting at 7,300 HP, but with the start shield sitting at 9,000.
Yeah, and she dishes out stuns like nobody's
Oh,
business, not just from her ability, also from the Silver Mirror Dawn.
Yep.
And it also is interesting that I wouldn't feel confident playing the Sona. I would feel confident playing the Graves, and I would feel very confident upgrading the Vex. It's all coming together now.
Oh yeah, what can Dilsum do about this? We still don't have Lulu
Dilsum
3.
can't even hit Lulu.
Oh my god, they're not playing the same game. They're just not playing the same game.
Well. Hey, here's something that I find really interesting. This blessing of prosperity seemed like it was really valuable for these two players. I know Peepoglad Peepoglad hit this Leona via Constructive Companion. So that is a cool move to me.
These fights aren't even close.
No.
I don't think there's anything Dilsum can do. Oh.
I think there's one thing that Dilsum was left to do.
Enough, though.
I don't think so either. I think you'll see this Graves is a complete menace. Are you able to pull up the damage chart for the previous fight?
Yeah.
Yeah,
12,000 on the Graves.
terrifying.
On Dilsum's side, though, you would think that Lulu's doing the most damage. It is not. It is Melio at 8,500.
But yeah, this is the first fight that Lulu 3 is gonna get to play this game, and it might be the last.
I'll keep the damage chart popped out for me.
It's Graves.
Yeah. Lulu is pumping out damage. So is Melio. It's just not enough, though.
You just see so many explosions.
Holy moly. And that's it. It's a huge win over here.
It's a really cool day of TFT. I feel like we saw some of the most capped boards possible in set 17 Space Gods. We had 9 Darkstar from Wage and Iverson. I feel like we saw so many players try to achieve strong level 9 boards. Some of them worked, some of them did not. We saw a lot of Corki.
Yep.
We saw a lot of people not hit Corki.
Amazing.
It happens. It happens to the best.
It happens to the best of us. And speaking of hitting and not hitting, we do have final standings fully updated here if you'd like to take a look.
Wow.
Yeah.
A second EMEA player breaks into that top 8 set of standings right now. HoroX, congratulations, with really strong performances in Game 3 and Game 5 and Game 6, gets into this top 8, so that looks really good. Michael had 2 good games to close out the day as well, gets up to 9th place and 29 points. So those are cool stories to follow. I would also say in the top 12, still 9 9 Americas players.
Yeah.
But the bottom 8 also has more Americas players in it.
That's true. EMEA seems to be taking the middle ground for now. There's one thing that I'd like to specifically look at in within the bottom 8 players, which is CMBQAQ, who went, 5 points. What is that? 3rd or 4th?
That's 4th, yeah.
4th goes 4, 4, 4, 6, 4.
4, 4, 4, 6, 6, 4, 8.
You would
It's a
think
depressing day.
with a, consistent top 4 rate, though.
That's one thing you
You
could call it.
would think.
It's a consistent. You could argue that CMBQAQ consistently top 4 today.
I mean, I would say
I
so.
would say that leaves a little bit of room for interpretation.
Yeah,
and
okay,
that
fine.
room is where all the bad stuff happened.
But there was only 2 bad things, and like I feel like it sucks to have a vast majority of top 4s and to be eliminated. To be at the bottom of the middle pack, this I would understand fully. But to be
Well, Domino,
eliminated day 1, I'd be
Domino,
fuming.
you used to be able to lose LP for a fourth. A long time ago, you
Really?
used to be able to lose LP for a fourth.
I'm
They
not
hit
sure
it.
I was playing at that time, but that is.
They hit it because it felt bad. It felt bad to top 4, and you're like, I won. I'm in the top half. In reality, top 4 sometimes it's not enough. It's not enough to win.
Yeah.
And for CMB, I'm sorry it wasn't enough to win today. It also really sucks to go out on an 8th, but there will be plenty to learn from. I learned plenty today.
I did too. You know, and as I continue to look at these standings, like, yes, there are so many players actually in this bottom 8 that I am sad to see go. I've always been such an enjoyer of CMBQAQ and of Basso Skills and of Quintanilla, but I will say that our top 8 right now looks absolutely smashing.
Yeah, that would be an amazing final lobby to
Mhm.
have the privilege of watching. Um, I will also say, Lekoko opened up a really big gap
Oh, yeah.
over second place. 5 points? Put in a 40 bomb on the rest of the field? That is admirable
40
behavior.
bomb on day 1, that's incredible. That is 4 first places. One
By the
second,
way,
1/8.
Lekoko, if I understand correctly, Lekoko is French.
Cuckoo! Sorry.
Lekoko.
I am French, but
it's
yes.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I lived in France for a little bit.
Ooh, we're getting lore.
That aside though, it's 2:30 a.m. for Lekoko.
It is. This is absolute late night demon hours on tournament right now.
Yeah. So big shout out to that guy for pulling that outcome out of like the depth of his competitive spirit, because like it's one thing to play a tournament. Like, I don't know, I'll speak from my experience. I always crash on game 6. Game 6 is really
it's
hard
so
because
far.
you're like, I need this to win, but your energy doesn't always come up in that moment to get you over the finish line, to do everything you need to do. And it's not about being hyped, it's about being precise, having mental acuity even when you're tired. And I'm really, I'm shocked by people who have the ability to muster that as reliably as our top competitors do for teamfight tactics.
Absolutely. Can't disagree with you at all. Regardless, though,
Okay.
this has been an incredible series of games for day 1. I mean, day 1 is always super interesting. You kind of get a feel for everybody, but I feel like the performance for day 1 today was kind of, above and beyond what we've gotten most of the time. I've been really happy to be here to see it for sure.
Yes, me too. This was a lot of fun. I'm very glad I got to cast with you, Domino. Thank you also to Cora.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
we had a great here day. Wow, a great day here at
A great
the
year day.
Guardian Angel
Yep.
League.
It was a
And
wonderful day. I do have to also extend thanks, of course, to everybody else at Gal, obviously, Catherine and Twanky, and everybody else who's been involved. And of course, you, Invective, and Cora for casting for us today. It was wonderful. I've had a lot of fun clicking around the observing shenanigans and making sure that we get a good look at all of these games here. I'm excited to see
yeah,
day 2.
I'm excited to see day 2 as well. Unfortunately, I will not be casting for day 2, but there will be lovely casters here, and I hope you stay tuned tomorrow for our continued coverage of the Dark Star Cup as our players vie for that top 8 and another coveted world spot. So, see you here tomorrow. Bye bye.
Absolutely. I'll be here with you tomorrow at the very beginning of the America's Games There will be some lovely new casters to be here with us, and I'm excited to see these games. So see you soon.